No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, with the Smackin' Raw podcast episode 240. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter. I am here with my guest host, who is catching up in the race for Pornhub Poppy because Vince may or may not show up, and he's kind of salty right now. Miss Katie Kinsey Bay from the She Elite Showcase.
He's not a little salty. He's very fucking salty. He's just mad because he's gonna lose. And when that whole thing was going down, I was just in the chat chilling, minding my own business. I wasn't salty at all because it's gonna be my nickname anyways. So fuck him.
If he shows up, we will definitely address that because that was one of the whole reasons you were here tonight was to handle that with him. But we also didn't come alone, Katie. Back returning from Down for the Count, we have Tiffany and Alexis, and for the very first time from Down for the Count, we've got Nicole.
Yay!
And we can see everybody this time. So now
I know. Wow.
when I say shit and they react, they'll actually know they're reacting and they think I'm funny and not just an idiot. It's great. I'm excited. So, how's everyone doing today?
I'm good.
Doing good, man. Just surviving at this point.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you had some stuff going on with school recently, right?
Yeah, went back to school beginning of January, and it's been whooping my ass. So, and then I realized how old I am because I was naming a project. We were doing one of my classes, David Bowie, and then one of my classmates looked over and he goes, "Who's David Bowie?"
Oh man.
Wow.
And then like I started playing it, and they're like, "Oh, this is the music my mom listens to."
Oh
no.
And it add insult to injury. I started playing Under Pressure, and they're like, "Oh, I know this song." And then when Freddie Mercury started singing, they're like, "But who's that guy?" And I'm like, "Oh, the gray hair I just shaved off is like coming back."
Oh, fuck him. They just
So-
sperms.
My
It's
wife just did
children.
something to me like that recently too. Literally, right before we started the podcast, we were outside. She goes, "Did you know that 10 Things I Hate About You came out 20 years ago today?"
Oh shit, it did.
And I
Oh
was
no.
like,
Oh my god.
oof.
That's
I
one of
need-
my
I need to
favorite
go.
movies.
I need to go buzz this again because like just gray hair.
He's like, I'll be right
everywhere.
back.
I was gonna say you should tell them it was Rick Boogs though. Next time they see Freddie Mercury and say, "Who is that?" Just say it's Rick Boogs. Before it's
Period.
steroids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Love
All right.
it.
Well, for anyone who is unaware, who is listening to us the first time because you came over here to see Down for the Count, I appreciate you being here. And I'll give you a little rundown about how we do the show. First and foremost, I got a few things, news and rumors that we'll talk about, get out of the way. And then Down for the Count is going to guide us through the show. So I'll ask Alexis, Nicole, or Tiffany where they want to start. They'll say Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, or Rampage. I will run down the show in my own very special way, which you guys will all hear. And then I'm going to ask them what we're spitting and what we're swallowing. We're going to talk about what we liked and what we didn't like. We'll do an overall spit or swallow for the show. And then at the end of the show, we'll pick what show we liked best this week. So let's get into news and rumors. First and foremost, both Alexa Bliss and Carmella got married this weekend. Apparently Alexa Bliss had every late 2000s, early 90s band at her wedding
Bro,
performing and shit.
Avril Lavigne was one of her bridesmaids.
Yeah.
I
She
would
was.
I know. Isn't that insane?
It is.
That's cool.
I'm like, I didn't even know they knew each other, let alone that
Gotta
well
be
to be.
through right. It had
Yeah.
to be through right.
Yeah.
Well, no, they said something about like all of the bands that play there, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like.
She had like 60% of NSYNC there, and they did like a mini like set and shit. I'm just like, God, man, like Alexa Bliss is out here living my high school life at this point.
Jesus, that is a lot.
It is ridiculous. So congratulations to both Alexa and Ryan, which I still don't understand, but neither here nor there. And
I think it's funny. I mean, shade, but no shade. I just think it's so funny that she literally like ran down the aisle to like marry Ryan Cabrera, but was dragging ass to even set a date for Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
But,
I was gonna say, when I look, like, I understand like she has the whole Disney princess side, like I get that, but also she loves horror movies. She loves like, and when I think of like someone who loved, like, look at my background, like I don't see myself hanging out with fucking Ryan Cabrera. Like I don't see us getting along, being buddies, kicking it, like farthest thing from my mind.
I mean, he seems like he's a fun guy though. So I mean, good for her. That might have been something that like she really needed, and obviously, probably met, and I think she met him through Miz because Miz has been friends with him for a long time,
and that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
think it's cute. I mean, they say opposites attract, so I mean, like, I take me and my husband for example. Like, he told me the other day, he's like, you know, we've been married for 10 years this year. I'm like, yeah, trust me, Warden, I'm counting the years.
Oh my
and
God.
he tells me, he goes, you know, I would never marry a girl like you, right? I'm like, yeah, I know, because his whole idea was like he would never date a girl 5'6" or taller, and he liked them kind of thick. So here's my 5'11" beanpole ass with like nothing.
5'11".
So, yeah.
Yes.
Alexis is tall.
She's very tall.
You know what?
Alexis is very
when
tall.
Nicole's high, her favorite thing to do is, Alexis, you're taller than Rey Mysterio.
I do remember us talking about that in the last episode. I do.
I love it when she does
Her
that.
being as tall as she is my favorite fact about the podcast.
I'm 5'7" and a half, 5'8". Like I'll be looking up to you if we ever meet. Like, hi, how you doing?
I mean, it's funny. It's like I freaked her out one day. I said, Nicole, I said, you know, I'm only an inch shorter than Roman Reigns. She's like, shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Holy shit,
Well,
that's incredible.
There was a
She's the head of the
just
table.
debuted that's like 5'11", and I'm trying to remember who it is, but she was towering over everyone in the women's division. Who was that?
There was back in the 80s, early 90s, and I think I know who you're talking about.
No, this was recent. Somebody, I think they just signed with WWE, and they showed a picture of her with like the rest of the women.
Yeah,
And
she's like 6'8".
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, stand me next to her so I know what being
I
short
feel
is.
like they really downplay a lot of the women's heights because they try to say that Rhea Ripley is like 5'9" or 5'10". I said, there's no way. That bitch is 6 foot. I'm like, there's no way.
She's
I don't
at
know,
least my
because
height.
I met Lita, and I always thought Lita was, when you look at her next to Hardy Boys and everything, like I didn't think she was going to be as small as she was. I met her in person, and she is tiny and short. Like she comes up to here on me, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, did you shrink?
No, they were
I'm not tall.
Boys' heights.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jesus.
But congratulations to Alexa, Ryan, Corey, and Carmella. Sarah Logan decided to control her narrative and join MAGA wrestling, so that's the thing. Yep. Also, Braun Strowman, not happy with people calling his indie promotion, just starting shit with random people on Twitter.
It is an indie promotion, though.
It is. He's like, it's not an indie. It's like, motherfucker, it's an independent promotion. You have no corporate backing. You have no TV, nothing. How is it not an independent? But he's like, no.
What does he want you to call it?
Where is that? No, what is that TV deal that they kept talking about?
There is none.
Yeah, where's that
Fox
at?
News.
The only place that fucking company is going to get aired is on fucking Trump's social media website. They'll do live streams and shit, but that's about it.
Did y'all see? It was a video. I think it was a video that either Austin Aries or EC3 posted, and it was like, "This is why we don't do certain moves." And it's kind of funny because it's like any kind of suicida, like through the middle rope or over rope. A lot of it was like aerial stuff, no Canadian destroyers. And then I'm looking at the people who are on the lineup. I'm like, it's because y'all can't do it. Y'all are banning these moves because y'all can't. Like, if you're an indie wrestler, and I know this sounds hypocritical, but if you're an indie wrestler in 2022 and you do not know how to do at least a Canadian destroyer, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. It's become like a super kick. It's become like a DDT. It's something that was a finisher that is now a common move place move. Like,
yeah.
And they said no super kicks either. And I'm like, y'all are just naming moves that you just can't fucking do, aren't you?
Well, I kind of have to agree with the super kicks. Okay, they use them, they're overused. Okay, we just want to take a little break from it, so that's okay.
They are, but it's just like
very true.
The people on the roster, and I'm like, can Braun Strowman even lift his leg that high?
No,
barely.
He shows up.
He can lift them enough so he can run around and make fucking choo-choo noises. Is he going to still do that? Control your business?
The nerve of this man showing up to a friend's wedding in pink Crocs, pink muscle
with that hairline,
and then he got his stripper girlfriend to come with him. I said it. He looked like a bouncer who was working the door at a strip club. Forgot his friend's wedding was the next day. He needed a date. So
well, I think we lost Alexis for a second, but to reiterate what she was saying, Braun Strowman looks like he was working at a strip club, grabbed a stripper, and brought it to Alexa's wedding. And that stripper is Raquel Rodriguez. Rodriguez, because we had to change her last name for shits and giggles. Mox's contract is apparently coming up, and the IWC had a blast with that about, oh, he's going to go back to WWE. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. I don't see him going back to WWE. I'm not saying that he can't. It's just he's got so much freedom to do the shit that he wants to do with Tony. Like, he can go to Japan and wrestle, for fantasy promotions and shit like that, and have all these matches with people I don't know or have never heard of because I don't go outside of my bubble and I just pretend they're all make-believe. So he gets to do all that fun shit with all these make-believe people, and WWE's not going to let him do that. So why the fuck would he give that up for what he's making to go back and be in a place where they said he was repressed creatively and didn't get to do all of the fun murder shit that he wants to go do out on the indies, like in GCW and shit.
My thing was what Mox, again, I have like a lot of feelings about Mox in his AEW run, and I feel like it's been abysmal as at best. But my thing kind of is that, he can go over. I feel like the best that he was doing was in New Japan. I felt like that was kind of the best form he was doing because he got to do like, his fun murder bullshit that he likes to do. But also he got to like express himself well, like creatively, and like do well and all of that fun stuff. So I feel like if he's going to go anywhere, he should just go back up to Japan.
Well, I recently on a podcast compared Mox's wrestling, not specifically, but just like the whole deathmatch wrestling style to gangbang porn. So Mox wants to do gangbang porn, but he's got a company that's going to pay him mainstream porn money. And every now and then he's got to do like a regular stepsister stuck porn now and then on TV, for TV.
My God.
That's absolutely fine. But his thing is gangbang porn. So he's happy taking the regular money so he can have the time to go do what he likes to do. That's the way I look at it. So
I didn't even know his contract was coming up.
I'm not really into the hardcore wrestling that Moxley does. I think it's a bit excessive. I think he does it way too often. But if that's what he enjoys, then I don't want to take that from him. I don't think he fits into the regime of what the WWE is doing right now. And to me, it just wouldn't be smart. No matter how much money they throw at him, it's just not going to do him any good to go back to a place he felt wasn't giving him what he needed. So, I mean, GCW is there. Look at what Matt Cardona is doing. He's out there doing big things, and he's working in GCW. They still let him do hardcore stuff. Me personally, I would leave AEW and I would go to New Japan, but I would work New Japan, GCW, and wherever else I could work and still get paid and do what I wanted to do. But I wouldn't be in AEW because I feel like eventually they're going to have to phase out the blood and gut shit too, because they're on television. They're just not going to be able to do that forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that tonight when we talk about Rampage. And then last but not least, unless you got something to add, Katie, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I didn't want to leave you out. LA Knight debuted in the dark match as Mace's manager tonight.
Yeah.
No. That
What?
man does not need to be. That man does not need to be a manager.
No.
He's got so much charisma and so much talent, and he's athletic as shit. And I mean, like I
manager, what was that? D.L. Madden?
Yeah.
Hell no.
we don't no because
Hell
that's
no.
this is
I was
the problem
trying to
that
figure out who it was. I said, who's this random black man?
Who is that? I'm like, wait, that's
This is
D.L.
my-
Madden.
this is my problem that they're having.
I didn't even
with
know
a lot
Dio
of
was
the,
still signed.
He's
Yeah,
still there.
he's still there.
For now.
This
For now.
is the
For now.
problem that I'm having with the new NXT call-ups because now I can understand Raquel changing her last name to something else, Rodriguez, because of like a whole contract thing. She wants to be able to keep her name if something ever happened to her, which I think is a smart move. But I don't get it where they take some of the like they wanted to do this with Adam Cole. They're like, hey, we'll bring you up here and be a manager. And he's like, I'm still good. I can still wrestle. I still have years to go. And it's the same thing with LA Knight. I started watching him when he was in NWA, and I was like, I really like this guy because he's one of those guys when he gets a mic, you were fully entertained. Like not once are you looking away from the screen. And it makes me so mad because somebody in the back is like nobody under the what? How tall is LA Knight? 5'8"? No, he's not 5'8". Like anyone under 6 foot can't automatically wrestle. And I'm seeing that again, and I don't like it. And it's like people are like, well, Rey Mysterio. So I'm like, Rey Mysterio is about the same height as my kid is now. So, don't give me that shit. I'm just like, if they make him into a manager, if I was LA Knight, I'd fucking leave. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm not being a manager to some dude who people forget is there, and I'm not gonna be his stepping stone that should be in a place. Well, I'm sorry, this is gonna sound selfish. I'm not gonna give someone else the opportunity or the spot that I rightly deserve because I've worked my ass off in this whole industry, not even in WWE, all over the world in different companies.
Yeah.
I'm not giving this dude just because he was your announcer for 5 months and then you try to put him in retribution.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work out for me. That would piss me off more than anything.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Jinder started off as a manager. And
Yeah,
I mean, he got to be, granted, he was champion because they were in India. They were debuting this shit in India, so he got to be champion.
Yeah.
But Jinder was a manager. So just to play devil's advocate, I say get your foot in the door and do what you got to do, and then fight for what you want.
And that's what
Yeah.
I was going to kind of say, because both Katie and I were not LA Knight fans when he first came into NXT.
Oh,
And I
love
think
that.
it was the War Games match where we were like, okay, now we see what this guy has to offer. And I was like,
Love
all
that
right,
match.
now I'm on board. And we have been on board with LA Knight since, and absolutely
Yeah.
loved him in NXT since that War Games match. But also, if they're not going to let you wrestle and this is your dream to be in WWE and you have a chance to make your mark, you could be a Jimmy Hart, you could be a Paul Heyman, you could make a name for yourself, you
Yeah.
can help create and almost be as big, if not bigger, than some of the talent that you're bringing up. If he's confident in his ability, and he's okay with that, I say let the man do it. Like, I agree. I would love to see him come up. You know, he gets compared to like possibly the next generation's Rock with his charisma and the way he works and everything. And I definitely could see that, though. Like you said, they probably don't like how tall he is, which is why we don't see Johnny Gargano still in WWE.
Yeah.
Well,
he's at least 6 foot. How tall is he? Hold on.
I don't know.
To piggyback off what she said about Cole, if I remember correctly, he even said that wasn't true. But if I'm LA Knight, I would do it. And then when I get my opportunity, if they put me in a match with somebody, because he can wrestle. They did it with Lana. Lana was a manager. And y'all know damn well that woman could not wrestle for shit, okay? You know this. We all know this. Yet she was a wrestler afterwards. She didn't stay as Rusev's manager. So, like, it's not ideal because we know what he's capable of. We know what he can do. But we always say it all the time, just like with Miss OnlyFans Toni Storm. You got to bide your time. If you get a foot in the door, you take your opportunity where you get it from. Miz is a perfect example of that. He was never supposed to be a wrestler. He started off as a host of SmackDown. And now he's a multi-time champion in just about every section of the WWE. One of the most sought-after superstars. You got to bide your time. And he got plenty of time. He's older, but he's not that much older. And he can work his way up the ladder just like everybody else.
And we also don't know what the plan is. The plan may be to bring him on as a manager in a storyline that leads to him becoming a wrestler and breaking away. Yeah. They've done that before as well. So I guess it's one of those let's let it play out before we burn it to the ground sort of things.
I love LA Knight. I've loved LA Knight for, I don't say years. This is like right before he got to NWA. So I've like always been a big fan of him. And again, it's like, you know, bidding his time, you know, we don't know what the plan is for him. It could be like, you know what, like, let's just get you started off like this, break away eventually. I saw on Twitter, I wish I kept their tweet. He's 6'1", billed at 6'1".
Okay.
So who knows what his actual height is? He might be 5'11".
You might be.
They usually don't overshoot that much. They're usually around, if they're not that actual height, they'll usually do like, it's usually like the 3 inches rule.
Yeah.
3 inches. They usually do 3 inches for height if they're fabricating. But my thing is like, okay, we might like, let's see where he goes. Again, I'd rather just like, I always just like, okay, let me let it play out before I like start raging and stuff like that. But again, I lost my train of thought. But someone on Twitter said that instead of painting him with Dio or Mace or wherever the fuck he is, someone had a great idea. That's like they should have paired him with Ronda.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of talent that needs someone to talk for them. That's far better
Ronda
than Dio
sure
Man.
as fuck can talk, so LA Knight's fantastic.
Shelton Benjamin and Cedric could both use a mouthpiece. Yeah. More so Shelton. I love Shelton to death. Amazing in the ring. Cannot cut a promo to save his life.
Oh yeah,
I
love him.
Agreed.
Amazing guy. Still to this day cannot cut a promo, but that's, you know, neither here nor there. But yeah, someone said Ronda, and I was like, oh,
I would love that. That'd be fucking awesome.
I was like, I see that.
If they're gonna keep her on TV and make us suffer through it, at least give us someone that we want to listen to.
At least give me some form of entertainment, because fuck that.
Because her promos make me want to change the channel. Like as soon as they give her a mic, I'm like, all right, how long is this gonna last? Can I come back?
Oh, poor Ronda.
I don't feel bad for her.
Everybody's not.
All right, Nicole, since it is your debut here, I'm going to start with you. Also, you were the first person to my right on my screen. Where would you like to start? Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite, or Rampage?
I barely watched anything this week, so I did
That's what
watch
I'm here for.
Dynamite, so we'll start there.
We'll start with Dynamite. I'll fill you in on everything else. Don't even worry. All right, Dynamite. We kicked it off with CM Punk defeating Penta Oscuro. Then we had Eddie and the boys mug two of what I like to call the Jag-Offs, the Jericho Appreciation Group of Fine Fellows. At the airport, stole their shoes. Then Jericho couldn't even finish his promo. Red Dragon loses to Jurassic Express after the match. Red Dragon jumps Jurassic Express with a chair. FTR comes out, and Dax and Fish almost make out on the rampway before they part ways. We got the BCC promo hyping their 6-man tag match, which was tonight, and their newest member, Wheeler Yuta. MJF loses to Shawn Dean again. MJF pretends that he can't get his coat off so he can get a jump on Shawn Dean. Wardlow ends up beating and stripping a security guard in the back, leaving him naked and knocked out so that he could wear his clothes to the ring, which I have no idea how he fit in because they were not in any way, shape, or form.
They're very
Yeah.
stretchy,
Yeah.
especially over the muscle tits.
Wardlow ends up chasing off MJF. No sells a chair shot from Spears and takes him out. Wrecks a shit ton of security guard. And then after about 40 guys finally tackle him and pin him to the ring, MJF can't figure out how to make his way around to an empty spot to get in. So he just takes the count out.
That's hard.
Off. You know, it was really hard. He's like, how do I get past these?
What's going on?
I guess I could walk this way, but I want to go. Nah, fuck it. MJF starts yelling at Bryce while Wardlow is a one-man wrecking crew in the back, just destroying all of security guards, and yells into the camera, "Let me out of my contract or I won't stop." Darby has a he wants to kill Andrade vignette, something about putting a nail in his coffin. It's Darby. Malachi has his murder Fuego spirit vignette. This was very confusing to me because I'm not sure if he's feuding with Fuego or the Dark Order, because I know Fuego called out the House of Black and then they wrecked him.
Yeah.
And then Dark Order came out and they had like this weird stare off. So I wasn't sure if this was about Fuego because I heard him say Fuego. So I'm assuming that's not just a regular part of Malachi's everyday vocabulary that he uses the word Fuego. I'm assuming it was about Fuego del Sol, but also I also want to see him wreck Dark Order. So the Jag-Offs lose to Proud and Powerful and Eddie by DQ, and then there is a 5-on-3 beatdown after the match. We have an MJF interview.
I thought Jericho used the bat on him, and I thought he got a three count on him because I was watching it, and then unless the ref caught him using the bat.
Did he get the 3 count? I thought it was a DQ. Katie?
No, because he distracted the ref.
Count.
Okay.
Yeah, Jericho used the bat, and then they that's how they picked up the win. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm not going to lie to you. Jericho kind of tunes me out a little bit. I enjoy watching Eddie and them beat on him, but I get a little distracted when Jericho's on the scrreen. I saw him with a bat.
I was very, very perturbed. I don't know which dude in Everrise or 2.0 or the fuck they're called now had on that Urkel bullshit getup. I was like, where are you going?
Going to church.
Like it did not fit a single person that was in the ring, that was in the arena. I was like, literally, like, bro, what is this outfit? Where are you going? Where were you at before? Easter is on Sunday. You're way too early for Sunday school. Like, what the fuck is this?
Oh
my God.
So
it was the suspenders, the fucking khakis. I was like, what is, and it took, like, that outfit completely took me out of everything for at least 15 minutes.
Ma'am.
I feel you on that. I unfortunately, I know some white people that dress like that, so it didn't mess with me as much.
Do it. And then the fact that they laid there and got their ass beat by this dude who looks like he's late to Sunday school. Like, he's dressed like a Jehovah's Witness. No offense to anyone who's Jehovah's Witness, but I was just so, and I was like, they gotta like fuck his mom after this or something. Like, you got your ass beat by this dude dressed like this on national TV. What if 1 million people watch this?
Yeah,
Like, you gotta go beat up his sister, fuck his mom. Like, you gotta do some wild shit.
Please.
Oh my
to
god.
protect it.
Well, I will give you this. I feel like if anyone is gonna go fuck someone's mom, it's Eddie Kingston.
No, it's
He
Eddie
looks
Kingston.
like
Eddie
Eddie Kingston has fuck
you
your
gotta
mom
fight
energy.
his mom. You gotta fuck his mom, Eddie.
Yes.
I'm
You
serious.
gotta fuck
You
his
gotta
mom,
fuck
and then
his
you
mom.
gotta fuck his mom, fuck his sister, and then take his grandma out for dinner.
You
Yep.
hoes nasty.
And
Okay.
Eddie- Tell me
No.
Eddie Kingston doesn't have fuck your mom energy. Like Eddie Kingston has
He
fuck your
does.
mom energy.
Big.
does.
He does. You have to do, and then you have to do it as a live sex celebration on
There we go.
Dynamite.
Go to hell, Nicole. Go to hell. Go to hell. Go
I'm
to
serious.
hell.
That completely took, and I'm like, I have ADHD, and there's like, and again, I get distracted very easily. Like, I lose my train of thought. And there are certain things when I'm watching wrestling, like, completely take me out of the show or completely sidetrack me. That it was something that completely sidetracked me for a good portion of the day. And I was like, I cannot handle this.
And this completely took me out of the show and sidetracked me, which is why if I clip anything from the show right now, it is going to be that conversation right there. MJF has an interview. He's pissed that he lost again. MJF decides he's going to book Wardlow against the Butcher because he didn't learn the last time he paid the Butcher to do something and he failed to deliver, that he should not give this man
there.
more money. I don't know.
I forget they're there, so good for him for getting TV time.
Okay.
Marina Shafir defeated thicker Cora Jade.
Oh no, I love Sky Blue. Don't start.
I love Sky Blue too, but
It's not bad.
She looks like Cora Jade with a little bit of meat on her.
She kind of does though. If you
Sky
really think
Blue.
about it, she does.
Oh,
Sky Blue did not deserve that.
what
match.
is
She did
Marina
not deserve
Shafir's
that match.
gimmick besides being a problem? Like, she's come
She's a
down this
female-
fucking hoodie.
She's
Her
the
gimmick
female
is-
Rusev.
I was gonna say her gimmick is she's the reason why we never got the four horsewomen versus four horsewomen match. Because if you watch that match, it was not fantastic.
Imagine being married to Roderick Strong and not knowing a damn thing.
Damn. Damn. Got him.
Red
Jesus.
Velvet and Kira Hogan are chilling in the baddies section. It looks like we may be getting a baddie faction with Jade, Velvet, and Kira Hogan. Jade,
I love it.
meanwhile, is not impressed whatsoever with Marina Shafir, just like the rest of us. The Diamond Daughter, Diamond Dallas Page's daughter, who is the backstage correspondent for AEW Dynamite, still cannot get a word out of Hook. Tony Nese and Mark Sterling whine about how Tony doesn't get enough attention, and then Dan Housen pops up and Hook no-sells his curse again, which is really pissing me off. Though I'm just going to believe that the curse is that Hook can't talk at this point. Every time Dan Housen curses him, it is another week that Hook cannot speak.
Oh.
And that's why he doesn't talk. Keith Lee and Swerve end up losing to Hobbs and Starks because they got an assist from Taz, but it was a banger of a fucking match, and I love the chemistry of Keith Lee and Swerve. It was fantastic.
I love the fact that they work so well together. I don't know if Lee and Swerve have ever worked on the indies with each other or anything like that, but that's a lot of trust to let a man moonsault off your titties into a bunch of other guys. Like, that is trust right there.
And that's the second time I've seen Swerve do that, because he did it on NXT, but I don't remember who he moonsaulted off of.
God, who was that?
But
I don't
he did
remember
do it on
either.
NXT.
I'm looking it up. Didn't you?
The Men of the Year whine about Sami and Tay some more, but apparently Sami's going to get a title shot at Battle of the Belts for the TNT title. Thunder Rosa has an interview and gets interrupted again. Nyla and Vicky have a cake to celebrate Thunder Rosa's short title reign, and then Thunder Rosa pushes the cake in Nyla's face, and then Nyla punches Vicky, and then with cake on her face wrecks Thunder Rosa and leaves her laying, because apparently that is the story of Thunder Rosa's title reign, is she keeps getting fucked up by Nyla Rose.
Yes.
And then in our main event, which I believe it was Alexis gave me a little bit of shit about on Twitter for the way I described it, Samoa Joe defeats Murder Grandpa to become Ring of Honor champion. TV champion. And then Sanjay and Lethal have a present for Joe, a middle finger in a box, and AEW's version of the Great Khali that nobody knew who it was. Lights came on. He's a basketball player that apparently never got any actual time in the NBA and is now here, and he wrecks Samoa Joe.
What's the basketball player's name?
You wouldn't. I didn't know who he was. Gerard might.
That's why I'm asking.
I doubt.
Isn't he like
I literally just
Satan
wrote down
Singh.
AEW Khali, so I couldn't tell you.
I only gave you shit because I should have warned you in advance that I love Samoa Joe more than my husband.
Oh yeah, she does.
So like I love him. I don't know why. I
Nicole's
just
looking
love
it up.
him. I love him so much.
You're a
But all
murderous
I-
teddy bear.
All
Yes,
I said
Thank
was
you.
I need Murder Grandpa to chill on those elbows to Samoa Joe's head because we don't want to lose him again to concussion protocols.
Well, I think that was a fair assessment, Alexis. I think that was fair.
You can't
We
go
can't be losing
into
that.
a match with Miro Suzuki and expect him to go soft on you.
I'm just saying though, but I mean, Matt
Don't
wasn't
gotta be the
wrong.
elbows.
I mean, how you gonna give him shit for the tweet when you know full well that was part of the issue in WWE?
I'm just saying that man's got a soft brain at this point, and all those
We know
elbows are gonna
that.
rattle that shit around. And I
And this-
still want to see my Samoa Joe Keith Lee match. I can't have Murder Grandpa taking him out before I get there.
I mean,
Well,
I agree with Matt because I actually watched that because I like Keith Lee.
That match, but that match though, which we'll
Oh, it was a
get
banger.
into it. It was fucking awesome, except for the goddamn last commercial break they had to take right in the middle of the match. And that's when all the cool stuff is. I saw someone like out there doing was slapping each other. And I'm like, dude, did you not see like the submissions that Suzuki was getting him in and shit? And they're like, no, I couldn't see it because of the commercials. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why
picture
are
in
they-
picture, I can't pay attention at all.
no. And I'm just like, why am I getting distracted by Domino's? This pizza sucks. I just want to see my
Not the
I just
pizza.
I want to see my Samoa Joe. Okay, like,
All right, so
I mean,
Sorry, I'm sorry I'm looking at my phone, but I'm trying to figure out who the fuck that random that they signed.
Dry
Well-
said his name was saying. He said he got drafted by Dallas in 2015, and he said he washed out and was playing in the G League, and then after that, there was nothing.
washed out.
He got
in the
drafted in
NBA.
the second round to Dallas and
And washed
washed out, and nobody else picked him up.
Well, just because you're tall,
You know,
don't mean
Tony
you know how to
Khan
play
did.
basketball.
Dallas.
Tony Khan did.
Tony
Tony Khan
Khan-
picked him up. Tony Khan did a line of
Tony
coke. Was like,
Khan
hey, I
did-
can
yeah.
use you.
Tony Khan did
Khan picked
3
up
lines
everybody.
right before he signed him. Like 3 nice long lines, at least.
So I saw this thing on I've been seeing it a lot on social media, and I talked to the girls about it. And it's stuff saying that Tony Khan's becoming completely unhinged backstage, and that's what we're thinking. He's either like he can't control. He's either trying to be the cool kid still, but in realizing he's losing control of his company or something like that, or he's just doing a lot of.
Oh, we call him Koki Khan. It's definitely
Okay, I didn't know what I.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah,
man's
can't
been
say I'm
doing
poor.
He's
I'm
stuff.
definitely
Multiple
a
times a day.
snowbike.
oh yeah, no, he
Definitely.
makes that white girl,
No.
Christina Aguilera. He's all about it.
Skiing through the slopes.
Um,
Being slopes.
I just
Spits
gotta
and
admit,
swallows.
like,
Oh no, he's definitely swallowing.
well, no, well, yes, that too. But I was gonna say, for Rampage, what did we like, and what we didn't like? I know,
Dynamite,
obviously,
Matt.
you want to start
Not
with
Rampage.
Samoa
Dynamite.
Joe. Yeah,
Yes.
Dynamite. Samoa Joe, Minoru Suzuki.
I totally will follow that. That was a great match, and I highly recommend up to the end. That I would spit, but like up to that match was great, and I'm catching a lot of shit from people saying, "Oh, you're a hypocrite because now you're watching AEW," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm watching AEW because same shit I've been saying since inception. I'm watching it because people I like are over there. I've never badmouthed AEW, and that's what she has. But like, it's
Oh
like
no,
kinda-
that's me. I'll talk shit about AEW all day, every day.
Fucking right.
But I talk shit
Here's-
about
here's-
WWE all day, every day.
Period.
And I did
Same here.
they went Impact.
Period.
And I
Yeah.
did the same. Those are the only 3 that really catch Impact not so much these days. They're pretty
Because nobody watches
consistent, but
Impact.
I just wish people would
I love
understand.
Impact.
I know you do. I just wish people understood that being podcasts and like just had like being podcast people in the wrestling community, we're not always going to have the same opinions, and we are going to have to talk about shit whether it's good or not. Because if we were only, you know, I don't want to say pro WWE, but if we were just talking about WWE and act like their shit don't stink, but over here in AEW we're breaking their balls every 2 weeks or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's not fair. But are we going to talk shit about everybody? Yeah, because that's our job. We don't get paid for it, but that's what we do.
So you're
Right?
not a
I'm not
bot?
gonna. No, I'm not a bot. No, that's
Listen.
again.
He was real. He was hitting real early on the slopes with that tweet. I said, someone needs to take your phone, buddy, because goddamn.
Oh, I said it today. He's becoming the Donald Trump of wrestling promoters with his fucking Twitter
love
game.
that.
He needs
I
to chill
love
the fuck
that
out.
for him.
Like he needs
I
to take
said
that shit away.
He and you know what? Like Vince McMahon is Satan, and he will probably never see the pearly gates. I'll probably see them before he does. But you would never catch Vince acting like this on social media.
Oh,
It
no.
don't serve you no purpose.
Yeah, for what?
purpose does it serve you or your company to be on the internet acting batshit crazy? Besides gassing up all of the people that follow you like you're some goddamn savior of wrestling. It doesn't do anything. If anything, it makes you look like a fool. So if you ever were to find investors, they're not going to invest with you because they know how you are and they know how you would make your company look. Business-wise, you look like a fool. And you're always going to be where you are because of this.
Yep.
I will say this though. If it was a character, if Tony was an on-screen character like Mr. McMahon in the 90s, I definitely see if Twitter was around in the 90s, Mr. McMahon being Mr. McMahon on Twitter and using that to build heat as the character of Vince McMahon. But this isn't the 90s. Yeah. Tony Khan isn't an on-screen heel owner promoter. He's just making himself look like a fucking idiot. So unless this is going to translate somehow to the product where you're just making yourself look insane and then you come out and you are fucking insane and it's all just character work, you're really hurting yourself more than anything.
Right.
Exactly.
Minoru Suzuki, Samoa Joe, Swallow, except for the ending / debut with AEW Kali. Also, the tag match Swerve and Keith Lee versus Team Taz. Swallow that 100%. As well.
That was awesome. I liked I really up to the 12th. Damn, now I got runny nose. Fuck. I did like Eddie Kingston and Ortiz and Santana working together as a group. This is the Santana and Ortiz I've been waiting for since they came to AEW. I love Eddie Kingston. I've just been on a kick about him lately. I don't know why, but I thought like them working together, and I said on Twitter, I'm like, this is the Pride and Powerful I've been waiting for since they showed up. Like, no more bullshit, no more running with Jericho, no more stupid bullshit. Like, let's get to the guys that fucking matter. Wardlow basically just making everybody horny by like killing people and throwing them around.
Yes. Yes.
Like Nicole loves Wardlow, and now I see why, and I'm like, okay.
Now, Wardlow fan, Tiff?
I don't have no issues with Wardlow, but I'm not attracted to him like that. But they are. When
I love Wardlow.
It's just him angry. That's what does it.
Listen,
it's not even him
everyone
angry.
has their own
I always
shit,
thought Wardlow was hot.
Nicole's always been on Team Wardlow from the time he showed up. She's been infatuated, so she doesn't surprise me. But Alexis, he ain't her aesthetic, so I'm very, very surprised.
I was like, who is this man in this suit with this body?
It's a big man.
I feel like seeing him destroy people, and I guess that's my kink is when I just see a man or a woman who could literally kill me. I think that's my kink, and that's why I think I'm attracted to him now.
You're very infatuated with Rhea Ripley, and every time you see her, it's step on me, and I'm like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Please.
Oh my God!
I say the same thing about Shayna, and I say it respectfully.
It's Shayna, it's Sonya, it's Rhea Ripley. It's
No,
all three of them.
yeah,
It's all
not
three of
Sonya.
them.
No.
Whoa, okay,
No.
hold on. We gotta time the fuck out.
Hey,
Dude, Matt,
No.
how many months have I been saying all this shit?
No, I was gonna say Alexis is your Katie because Katie is in our group chats talking about Rhea stepping on her, Xylee kicking her in the face. Today specifically, Persia Parada put out a tweet about WWE fans want me to step on them or something like that. And Katie's like, I'll add her to the list. Fuck yeah, like she gets me. So it's a thing. I get it. I also, because I do listen to Down for the Count, I feel like I've heard this conversation between you guys before, where you guys were running down people, and you were like, "That is not her aesthetic. I don't know
It
why
is
she
not.
likes this man." I feel like
I don't
I feel
understand.
like I've been there before.
She always comes out with a ringer. It's always
Someone
always
weird.
it'll
Someone really
happen
weird.
with the top
Makes
5,
no sense.
or we'll be talking and she'll be like, yeah, he's hot. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? You don't, that's not what you like. You're Sami Callihan.
No one. It
and
makes
Samoa
no
Joe.
sense.
That's where you stay.
But Tiff, you really don't have any room
Don't
to
even
talk
start.
about that.
Don't
let's
even
stop there.
start.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we need to embarrass you again? 'Cause you know we
No,
will.
I'm not embarrassed. I say what I like. I said I like Mance Warner. I said I like Cody Rhodes. And they give me shit about Homelander. And I said that I wanted to get out with Braun Strowman. I have said that. That is on record. So both
Cody only looks good when he has dark hair. The
And that's what
blonde
I
hair,
said. And they said
I
no.
cannot stand it.
They said no, he's not attractive at all. It's on the top 5 episode. I said I like him, but I want him with his dark hair.
I will give you this, Tiffany. Tiffany, I will give you this. Regardless of him being Homelander and ending racism and all that, there is one thing we know absolutely 100% for sure about Cody Rhodes, from Big Swole, from Brandy Rhodes, and now what WWE posted about him and Bianca Belair is he loves black women. So that is his thing.
Hey, Tiff.
Tiff's married, so she's not worried about it.
But Cody Rhodes came out and literally said, I came back to WWE and the only person I wanted to go talk to was Bianca Belair. And I was like, Brandy, you better watch out.
Hell
Montez.
yeah,
No, he got Montez. Montez is like, don't you try shit, white boy. No.
Brandy ain't got the smoke. Brandy ain't got it. You can't be no black bitch against that, baby. You ain't gonna, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
All right.
And,
Are we swallowing or spitting anything else from Dynamite?
I'm spitting that Marina Sky Blue match because Sky Blue did not deserve that.
No.
And you could tell, like, right off the bat, because again, AEW isn't exactly known for being big fans of the women's division, but no one came out, because I didn't even know who the hell she was at first. I'm like, who is this girl who can't
Who's
talk
this bitch
on
in
the
a
mic?
hoodie?
And then, like,
She has a hoodie on.
It wasn't even a cool hoodie. It was like just a black zip-up hoodie, like with something on it. And then they're calling her the Problem from Albania or something like that. And then I had to check Twitter, and they're like, "Yeah, that's the chick from NXT." And I was like, "Oh, okay. So let's see what the hype is about." And no hype.
She got let
what
go.
she can do in NXT. She wasn't good in NXT. I wouldn't have expected her to be great in AEW either.
All right.
Figure like over time, since she was released, she would get better. But it's like the crowd was just
dead.
Hour. I think Alexis, how are you living in a whole house apartment where the fuck you are with Roderick Strong? Of all people.
Mm-hmm. Married
Roderick
to him.
Fucking Strong. You Newcastle still?
Yeah.
What's going on? Maybe I'm like, sis, I'm like, you know what? He probably has helped her. I'm like, at this point, hang it the fuck up.
We do know one thing for sure. Wrestling talent cannot be acquired via injection.
Well,
yeah.
That's true.
I don't know.
I'm also going to swallow the opening match, CM Punk versus Penta.
Yeah.
That was fun as shit.
Oh, that made me so mad because Penta should have won. Penta should have won.
Yeah.
Punk's been on quite the roll, so you should have expected that too.
He wants the title. He wants the championship.
He ain't gonna do shit with it except have lackluster matches, but that's just me.
Oh, he has had. I mean, he had the match with Penta. He had that match with MJF. The man has put on some bangers since he came back.
Are those the only two bangers he's had, or
there was the one he had? Who was that? Shit, I can't remember.
I don't like Phil. I will not watch a match with him in it.
I only watched it because it had Penta in it, and I love Penta.
I just don't watch AEW.
I love Penta. I wouldn't fucking want. I was not watching it.
I'm just curious as to how well his matches have been compared to his winning record. So, match
he's
quality,
undefeated, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not undefeated.
No,
he's lost.
He lost to MJF.
Technically twice.
Yep.
It's very hit or miss because, like, I'll admit it, that dog collar match was pretty cool. With him and Punk. I'll admit that, but like, I don't want it to be like Mox, where it's like a special stipulation when it comes to that kind of stuff, like all the time.
Yeah.
I love Mox, but he throws those stipulations out like way too much, and I don't know. I just have an issue with the CM Punk fans because they'll talk shit about Samoa Joe and make jokes about his concussions and his injuries and shit like that. But they're pushing for guys like Punk and Sting to take the belt off of Adam Page, and I'm like,
for Sting to take a belt. Who?
Yeah, that's terrible idea.
Let me talk to him.
They need to worry about not.
They are so hell bent on Sting being champion. I'm like, so you guys will shit on Samoa Joe because he's an ex-WWE guy. You guys will shit on Adam Page, even though he's one of your beloved elites, and you guys are apparently tired of him because now Adam Cole's here. But you want Phil to be your champion, and then you want a 60-year-old man to be your champion. I'm sorry,
Well,
I didn't realize I was watching WCW back in the day.
Wait, isn't CM Punk an ex-WWE guy too?
Yep.
CM Punk, Sting
Adam
was
Cole.
once in WWE. Adam Cole's an ex-WWE guy.
The majority of their roster.
Isn't most of their roster ex-WWE guys?
A good chunk of their roster is ex-WWE, but see, Tiff, it doesn't matter because see, Adam Cole didn't really wrestle because he wasn't wrestling. He was a sports entertainer in WWE. Remember?
What?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that is the bullshit argument excuses that I'm seeing on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on to our next show. One,
Sorry.
as a Chicago guy and a CM Punk fan, I will say I think early on his matches he was working a certain way to make it seem like he was getting the ring rust off. I think his matches overall have been good to great, like the dog collar match or so on and so forth. I don't think he's put on a bad match. Also, I understand the issues that people have with CM Punk. I want to see Samoa Joe as much as I want to see CM Punk, as much as I want to see Adam Cole be champion. I do not want to see Sting as champion. There's no reason for that. I also think, in my humble opinion, Hangman Adam Page might be the best AEW champion we've had to this point. So anyone saying that he's still like he's killing it and get out of here with that, he's stale and they need to take the belt off. Unless you give it to Malachi, because I'm a huge Malachi Black fan and I would love to see that. Do that, but neither here nor there. Tiffany, where do you want to go? Would you like to go Raw, NXT, SmackDown, or Rampage?
Let's do NXT.
NXT. All right. Yeah, that was Tuesday, so that's up here. Kick it off. North American title match. I was about to say NWA. North American title match. Solo Sikoa loses to Cameron Grimes. Mid-match, we get a handshake. Grimes says, I respect you, but fuck your bloodline. Trick ends up distracting Solo. Grimes takes advantage, gets the win, and then Mello and Trick jump Grimes and Solo after the match. Waller interrupts commentary to tell us that Sanga is going to win the tag titles basically by himself because his arm's in a sling and he can't do shit tonight. The Creeds draw their spot in the gauntlet from the old Royal Rumble tumbler that they were using to pick their spots for the 5 fucking teams that were in this that did not include GYV because that was necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
I was very upset by that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Braun wants to know where his daddy is, and Gacy says Rick took a spanking like a man, left his Hall of Fame ring behind, which he then dropped into a bonfire.
Hell
After
no.
after he allowed Harlan to abuse him in a cage for a week. Mandy introduces us to the brains, the beauty, the gold, and the beast of toxic attraction in a vignette. Ancient Andy hates Asians, and I don't know why, but jack off time gets destroyed before their match. Stone says that there will be no match, but Jiro said, fuck that, came down, said he's going to kick Stanley's ass back to the Stone Age because Von Wagner, we have various names for him: Stone Age Stanley, Prehistoric Paul, Jurassic Jim, all of them because he looks like a caveman. So Dino Dan defeats Ikeman Jiro, and then Prehistoric Paul launches Jiro into the crowd after the match. I can't even say that. Thakita Lion sits down for an interview that leads to a boot to the face from Lash Legend and a Norman Smiley fucking cameo out of nowhere.
Of all people.
I marked out
Norman
for Norman Smiley.
Smiley.
Yeah, he used to be in WCW.
Yeah.
He was WCW Hardcore Champ. He's one of the
Yeah, I
trainers.
remember.
And when I saw him, I was like, holy shit, where the fuck have you been? Marked out big time from Norman Smiley. And I also did a This Is Sparta TikTok. If anyone finds a Smackin' Raw TikTok, right as Lash is kicking Thakita Lions in the chest. So go check that out. They challenged it. I appealed it and they put it back up. So it's back and available for your viewing pleasure.
Yeah. Fuck TikTok.
Mandy defeats Dakota Kai to retain her championship. And then Wendy Cho gets toxic attraction really, really wet because Wendy's got the super soaker. Joe Wayne Gacy has another vignette. He's going to take everything from Braun, but might keep one thing as a trophy. Then he pulls the ring out of the fire and pretends to burn himself really bad because he puts it directly onto his finger, and they've got bad like sizzling sound effects as he's sliding the burnt Hall of Fame ring onto his ring finger.
Ew.
Yeah.
Tony D extends an olive branch to Legado and Escobar. It's like, no, you know what? Fuck you. And he's going to regret that. Like the man said, listen, things don't go down. Come see me. We can do business. And he's like, no, fuck you. I'm going to handle shit tonight. And they didn't. So now there's going to be mafia versus cartel gang warfare in NXT. I just need to know
Love that.
who is joining Tony's side.
No, I'm
Who
not
is
on
Tony?
Tony's side.
As an Italian, I am proudly on Tony D.
Absolutely not. I'm all for Escobar. All for it.
Cora Jade has her make a name for myself promo, and out comes Natalya because apparently there's no one left for her to tag with on the main roster. So they said, go down to NXT and do some shit. Cora's marking out for Natty, and Natty is crying because somebody actually likes her for real. It's really cool. Then Natty calls Cora the future and says, but the future is bleak, and straps a sharpshooter on Cora. Like, you had one fucking fan.
And
Your
some
sister-
Louis V's.
Your sister has an OnlyFans with 10 times the fans that you have, and it's
Her
worth
sister-
checking out. I will say that Jenny Neidhart does have an OnlyFans. Definitely worth checking out. However, you had one and you put it in a sharpshooter, Natalya. Shame on you.
Shame.
Draco Anthony loses to Zion Quinn in this weird, it was about Joe Wayne Gacy, but now it's not anymore feud. Natalya is officially in NXT, I guess, because she's walking through the back past all the women. Tatum Paxley walks up and she's like, listen, I've been trying to make a name for myself here and there. I want to match with you. And Natalya's like, yeah, sure, fuck it. I got nothing better to do.
Unusual.
Indy and Persia decide to force Duke and Dexter to be a team, seeing as they couldn't cohesively be a tag team. Why not have our boyfriends be one?
I hate that.
They are 2 beers away from full on swing. Like literally just 2 beers away
So
from.
you get the same vibe I do from it then, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then in the main event, we have the tag gauntlet for the NXT Tag Team Champions. The Creeds go on a tear. They defeat Legado. They defeat Brooks and Dunn. They defeat Senga and the guy with the arm cast on the outside. And then lose to former NXT UK champions Pretty Deadly, who decided to celebrate on Twitter, as you will see from our thumbnail, in bed together with fruit and in the bathroom together while one was taking a shit and the other was getting out of the shower. These pictures exist on Twitter.
They're on Twitter.
And you will see them as the thumbnail. I sent the thumbnail to Alexis so she can send it to you. These pictures exist and it is our thumbnail. And I am very confused about what is going on with Pretty Deadly. I'm not sure if they're just metrosexuals, if they're bisexuals, if they're what their deal is, but I'm curious.
I mean, it's 2022, dude.
I'm one of 20 people who watch NXT UK. Their just whole shtick is just to make you feel uncomfortable in the best possible way, but also kick your ass. Like, it's very, I like to call them blouses because it's very Chappelle Show cricket energy. Like, that is literally their energy. They're wearing blouses, they're wearing half the amount of clothes that I would wear on a normal basis, but they will whoop your ass.
Okay.
I'm very
completely hands down with your ass.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I think it works perfectly, especially in like 2022, because everyone's a little gay in 2022 nowadays. Except Tess. She says she's not.
She ain't gotta call me out like that.
Immediately.
I was watching NXT UK consistently until the pandemic, and around the pandemic, which is about the time they won the tag titles, they fell off, and I just never got back on with them. I went and checked out a few stuff with the women's division and the Final Boss, and seeing like what she had going on over there, but I have not consistently got back into my NXT UK watching, unfortunately. And now everyone's coming over, so
I mean, I love it because, like, what's the shit? Who are they reminding me of? They're reminding me of Adrian Adonis, like all the guys from like back in the day that were like, I don't understand, but the pretty boys, but they use like, they would fuck with your brain because they were like I don't want to say toxic masculinity, but these guys just seem to be very comfortable with themselves. So they're like, you know what? This makes them uncomfortable, so let's just keep doing it. It gives me like very like Gold Dust when he used to fuck with people back in the day, kind of.
I have a character on the show that I have done that I will not break out, but the whole purpose of it, I call him the Rack. He's kind of like the Gilbert of the Rock, but I do a dusty voice with a little bit of sugar in the tank, and the whole point is to make mostly my male co-hosts uncomfortable, and it works out fantastic. So
these pictures are so crazy.
Yeah, right.
Still looking.
So
she's been looking
overall,
for 5 minutes.
What are we spitting? What are we swallowing from NXT?
I'm swallowing Mandy Rose. I'm tired of her.
Are you spitting Mandy Rose?
No, I'm spitting her. She ain't getting no. She not getting nothing. Fuck that bitch. I'm tired. I'm sick of her. It would be different if Mandy, if she gave you something, but everything is middle of the road with her, and you don't get to go one way or the other, and then she'll be mediocre in the ring and then horrible on the microphone, and it's like, girl, I came with you. You got to go. So she's not even getting nothing. She's not getting nothing from me. Alexis consider she's not going nowhere near my mouth. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do it.
See, now Katie and I have the opposite opinion, because I feel like Mandy has gotten so much better since she's been in NXT, and maybe I am just mesmerized by what I'm looking at, but I do honestly feel like watching her matches compared to what she was doing on the main roster, even in NXT before, she has gotten so much better in the ring. And I love the entire Toxic, mostly Gigi and Mandy, but the entire Toxic Attraction aesthetic and faction, what they're doing. So we swallow Toxic Attraction every week.
Yeah.
I'm not
what color was the ring gear, though?
Yeah.
Black?
My thing is, as a whole,
or yellow.
As a whole, I really like Toxic Attraction as a whole, like aesthetically, because that's something that I've always kind of wanted in NXT and in the main roster, was like basically like not alternative girls, but girls who weren't like basically. And there's no shade to Trish. Like I love Trish, but I always wanted like a faction full of like Litas, who were
unconventionally pretty,
but they could beat your ass, and they were just like cool girls. Like, yeah, unconventionally pretty, and that's what they minus Mandy, but that's what they are to me, and that's what, as a whole, aesthetically, I do like them. Mandy, I like her a little bit more than I did like on the main roster, but she's very like, she doesn't like, I don't know, she doesn't like give me everything. Like I really like Gigi.
Yes.
JC is there, but I think like Gigi like really like carries like Toxic Attraction to me.
See, me and Nicole, same page, because my aesthetic, since we were talking about this earlier, Lita, Shotzi, Gigi. That's what it is for me. And then Dexter Loomis, because something about a creepy guy that cuddles you to sleep. We're all a little gay in 2022. Like, it is what it
Exactly.
is. I'm gonna swallow the tag team main event. I understand why Pretty Deadly won, because with MSK gone and the feud originally supposed to being, this MSK Creed thing involving Pretty Deadly, it makes sense with the Creeds versus Pretty Deadly being the main thing to have the Creeds have to work back up to beating the heels as champions. So I get it, even though it was literally like their first match on NXT. They just came in, won the titles, boom, and people didn't understand because they didn't watch NXT UK and they didn't know what the fuck, but it made sense to me. But the Creeds killed that match. Like they put on a star-making performance, which makes me really sad because outside of the Usos, how WWE does tag teams on the main roster. I really love to see these guys do some shit on the main roster, and it's probably not going to happen, but it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm swallowing that. I'm swallowing everything Braun Breaker, Joe Wayne Gacy. I love horror movies, Katie. You can spin it all you want.
God.
Listen, this is straight up like some Silence of the Lambs, serial killer shit. That's why I call him Joe Wayne Gacy, and I am here for it. Rick Steiner is not safe. I had very much end of Pulp Fiction vibes going on with the Gimp.
Lord. Oh my God.
This entire time. I feel bad for Rick. I'm worried about his safety. I want to see Braun go save him. I am all for this. Joe Wayne Gacy is the perfect serial killer, kidnapping, lock you in a dungeon bad guy. I enjoy it. I love it.
I love that storyline. I think it was done. It was odd because they had him on Draco for a while. Then they just pulled him really quickly and put him on Braun. And it was just out of nowhere. But the story works for Gacy more specifically. And it also gives Braun a true adversary to go up against, not just necessarily the physicality, but on a mental note, how is he going to fare? So I love the story. I'm like, these are the type of stories you want to see when it comes to WWE, because this is what they used to be good at. This was the fun part of WWE. So I like this. Right. Like I like this. And it's updated because it has a little bit of realism to it. Because there are people out there like Gacy who really exist. He's very charismatic, and which is very creepy, and he can draw people in. And it's very reminiscent of what Bray Wyatt was when he was there. So I like the storyline, and I'm curious as to where it could go. But they've been known to do some really swervy shit as of lately. So if they do something weird, like fucking give Gacy this title after this shit, that'll take me out. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
However, I will say this. We may see Draco return because Gacy completely mind fucked Draco. Like Draco was so paranoid because Gacy was grooming him and shit. Like he started fights with Zion Quinn. Gacy may have gotten to him. So if we get to a point to where it's Braun versus Gacy and Harlan is banned from ringside, you may see Draco showing up.
Yeah. I told him the moment Joe Gacy started talking to him and walking around, I'm like, okay, they don't put him with Gacy. Now we're gonna have two creepy motherfuckers walking around. Harlan creeps me out. He's creepy.
He reminds me of my friend Nate if he like hit a growth spurt. I know a guy who looks exactly like him, and he's creepy as hell because he has like the really close, like buzz cut hair and stuff. And
Ew.
and he's the sweetest guy ever. He looks like he could chew your leg off, but he's a really sweet guy. But he's like 5 foot nothing. And I looked at him one day and I said, "Hey, baby Harlan, how are you?" And he got super. So sorry, Nate. I love you though. I know you're watching this because I found your Pornhub account.
Oh man,
That is taking a turn.
Trash.
No.
Our phones look alike. I picked his up by accident and flipped it up. Homeboy didn't have it on password, and there's Pornhub like right there. So
When I was first dating my
man.
wife, I was at my in-laws' house, and her best friend and her brother have been dating for like years. And I was on my couch and I opened my phone and I did the exact same thing. And I learned a lesson that day because I opened my phone and porn popped up right on my phone. And her best friend was standing behind me at the couch and saw it and said something to her. So from that day, I have always closed my browser windows when I was finished. I never leave it open anymore.
use the biometric reader on modern phones. Password protect that shit. Like,
Yes.
It's the small things you can do.
But also now I have an excuse because if there's Pornhub on my phone, I can be like, oh yeah, it's just my podcast. Like, great cop out.
That's the excuse I'm gonna have to use.
See, there you go.
Now listen, I would just like to specify, I don't have an issue with the feud, right? I'm going back to the topic. This is literally just one giant Criminal Minds episode, and Joey Gacy legitimately scares the shit out of me. If I saw that
He's
man
such
in a
a
parking lot
weirdo.
by myself, I'm calling the police and or stabbing him on
Listen,
site.
If you're in NXT's parking lot in general, you
I'm
should
never
call
going
the
by
police.
myself. I'm
That's
immediately
when he
calling the
thought it
police.
was safe to be in the NXT parking lot.
We had a whole conversation about this right before Halloween Havoc. The episode is called Clown Paint and Tears, and it is about how I wanted Joe Wayne Gacy to host Halloween Havoc from an unmarked van outside in the NXT parking lot, and then just randomly have Harlan abduct people. Yes.
Clown paint, scissoring, and tears. You forgot
Yes,
the scissoring
Clown
part of
Paint,
that title.
Scissoring, and Tears. That is correct. Clown Paint, Scissoring, and Tears.
Dude,
Is the name of the episode. That's what I wanted to see from Halloween Havoc, was just Joe Wayne Gacy hosting the show with an unmarked van outside and Harlan randomly kidnapping people and shoving them into the van. I thought that would have been entertaining.
Honestly, I would pay to see that.
You would?
But it's also the very beginning of Katie's whole fear of Joe Wayne Gacy and never wanting to be in an NXT parking lot, especially if there's an unmarked van.
I watched too many episodes of Criminal Minds. Shit, I can't. It fucks with my mind too much. I hate him.
I watch serial killer documentaries pretty much all day, every day. And he's very much reminiscent. He's real. 100%.
It's real to me, damn it.
I'm also going to swallow Grimes versus Solo Sikoa, even though
1,000%.
I love Solo. I can't wait to see him do more. I knew Grimes just got the title. They weren't going to take it off him. So I kind of expected what we got, but I'm looking forward to seeing big things from Solo in the future. He's one of my favorite NXT superstars. The only men I really like right now, outside of, because Edge has got a whole dark faction thing going on. That's really my aesthetic. And I'm digging that, is men in NXT. Like, there's not a whole lot of men on the main roster that are doing it for me. Most of my enjoyment is the women on the main roster, which we'll talk about when we get to Raw and SmackDown. But the men in NXT, they've got I dig Braun Breaker. I'm digging Solo. I've always loved me some Dexter Lumis. I don't know what it is about that man. He's just got some sort of weird magnetism.
He's funny. He's
funny. He's a serial killer too.
He's funny.
I just loved it when him and Indy got married, and and he was like, "Does anyone have anything to, like? Does anyone like speak now, forever hold your peace?" And everyone's like ready to say something, and that motherfucker just opens up his jacket, and there's his axe right there, and he's like looking, and I'm like, "I dare you." This is, and you can see like this thing's important to her. Which one of y'all are gonna fuck it up? And I'm like, I love him because that's actually really sweet, you know.
Exactly. He is a man that will not only cuddle you to sleep but protect you with a hatchet while you are asleep.
Oh my god!
You also got to sleep with one eye open though the entire
All
time.
Of the
That's actually really difficult.
Right. Y'all some toxic people, honey.
I'm
toxic.
I'm actually gonna swallow Natalya too. Being in NXT, I really enjoyed. They're gonna use it to build Cora, so I think that is a positive thing because obviously they have big plans for Cora Jade. I'd rather not have Natty on the main roster involved in anything, and she's not going for a title in NXT. So if they're gonna use her to build some young talent on NXT, I'm all cool with it. Like it was a fun promo from Cora that led to a sharpshooter. We're gonna get her wrestling all of these young women, Tatum Paxley, Cora Jade, stuff like that. Great way to use Natalya and keep her off my TV on Mondays and Fridays.
I
Oh
think
no,
Natty.
Natty.
I mean, like Natty, I was thinking about this actually today, and Natty's kind of been just like, she really hasn't been doing really majorly anything on the main roster. And we've talked about this before on the show. I think it's like with Natty, because you can see where someone works with her on TV, it's kind of like okay, are you ready or not? Because if you can't have a good match with Natty Neidhart, which she's a veteran in the women's division, her and Naomi, if you can't have a good match with either of them, that means you're not ready. So the fact that they are sending her down to NXT to work with these people, I give Natty shit, but she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She knows. She just has no charisma. She has no personality.
No, she's boring as shit.
Yeah.
She yells. She talks about her cats. She has the same gear, over and over again. But I mean, I really think she's a great wrestler. And if that's what they're going to do with her now and start slowly phasing her back or slowly phasing her to NXT to work with these women and make sure that they are ready to go up, like I could see them, not now, but like somewhere down the road, if Mandy still has that title, that's going to be like, if she loses it, she'll go up to the main roster probably again. But Natty will be that person that they're like, you need to get with her. And if you don't do good, then you're still down here. If like, that's going to like, she's the teacher, you have to pass. It's a pass or fail class at this time.
Yeah.
I'm fine with her being in NXT. I think that a lot of people have issues when the stars come from the main roster to go to NXT, but in my mind, the way I see it is they either are helping to build a star or helping to create one. So as far as I'm concerned, while she's down there, Cora Jade's gonna get a work with Natty, and she's gonna improve. Natalya always improves anybody she wrestles with. She did it with Lacey. Lacey and her had a decent match on the main roster, and it worked out for Lacey in her favor during that time. So as far as her being in NXT, I'm fine with it. She ain't taking up nobody else's time. The women's segments get shorter and shorter every week. So as far as I'm concerned, if she can be there to help Cora Jade be a better face and work better in the ring, I'm all for it. I see nothing wrong with it. They're not going to use her on the main roster because I don't want to watch her on the main roster either. I'm with Matt on this one. She bores me. And she really, really irritates me as a heel. She is, and I know that's what she's supposed to do, but it's beyond your heel work. You're just getting on my fucking nerves. And I don't want to watch her. So I'm fine with her being in NXT because as long as Cora Jade beats her, I'm good.
Well, I've always said Natty's my third favorite Neidhart. It's Jenny, Jim, and then it's Natty. So, and maybe fourth if you count TJ. So
no, she's my fifth.
Damn,
dude.
Is two paws above her too? Or?
I don't know who's the fourth. Someone's before her, but she's my favorite.
Fuck her fucking cat. Fuck that fucking cat. I'm so sick of
I love that
goddamn cat. It's ugly as shit. Where's my cat? My cat's cuter.
I actually forgot. Real quick, Dynamite, spit or swallow. Katie?
Swallow.
Nicole?
Swallow it.
Tiffany?
I'm gonna spit it because I didn't watch it. So
Alexis?
Swallow.
And I'm gonna swallow as well. Do we have any other spits outside of Toxic Attraction from NXT?
I'll swallow Toxic Attraction.
I mean, you could spit that Draco and Zion match. It wasn't a bad match, but
Zion is amazing to look at.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have no idea what the fuck he does when he goes in a ring and he shows up. I have no idea what he does.
He's not a bad
I'm gonna say something very similar in a minute.
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what his moveset is. I legitimately do not know his moveset. I just look.
I don't even care.
I don't care.
I love him.
I have a swallow. I have a swallow for NXT.
He could be wrestling like Marina for all I know.
Oh my
No,
God.
stop that.
No.
Lash kicking Takeda.
Lash kicking
Oh, we forgot about that.
Wow.
fucking face. That was probably my favorite
I loved
fucking.
it.
Oh my.
Okay.
Okay.
It was the best thing ever.
I love Lash Legend because she just has the character, she has the personality, she has the charisma. I think she's all around, she's great. Nikita Lyons, I'm not trying to jump on the hate train with her, but I need to see something more than your half-assed striker from Mortal Kombat half-finished cosplay.
Oh.
All I know is because that is she has a big ass. And like, that's all people seem to care about with her. And I'm just like, okay, name something she does. Oh, she did the split leg thing. I mean, oh, you mean the same thing that Naomi does, but when Naomi does it, y'all call it like ratchet and shit, but it's okay with a white girl doing it. Okay, I see what you're doing.
I enjoy it when both of them do it.
I know, oh, yeah.
100%.
But I need more from Nikita than she's a white girl with a big ass, and that's coming from a white girl with a somewhat medium-sized ass. So I mean, I need to see a little bit more though.
She actually can wrestle. She actually can, and she's not bad. I've seen her wrestle before her NXT days when she was in Wild Wrestling as a Lioness. I remember she wasn't terrible then. She isn't terrible.
I always forget she was there.
She was.
Wow.
Yes.
I always forget she was there. Yeah, she was a Lioness.
She was a Lioness there.
That was
and she wasn't bad. It's not that she's a bad wrestler. It is that her character work is overshadowing what she can do in the ring. And right now what's happening is Lash Legend is outworking her in her character. See, you can be a face or like that middle tweener anti-hero character, but she's getting lost in everybody being infatuated with the way she looks. And because she presents her ass first and not what she's capable of, that is what people are going to focus on. And that's the sad part, because she actually is more than capable. And you can see when they put on their match last week, her and Lash had a very good match together. I liked the match. And she won the match. But this week, Lash was pissed and she straight up kicked her dead in her shit while she was sitting there. And I was like, this shit is over. It don't matter what she do after this. She always gonna be the bitch that got yeeted in her chair. It don't matter. I'm like,
man, she saw Lash coming. She knew she didn't have time to move, and that bitch just kicked her right in the.
She could have ducked. She could have ducked. She could have ducked. She didn't.
I'm with you about Takeda Lyons, and to your point, I call her Takeda, not Nikita, because of how she presents herself. However, I've seen, and again, it's mostly squash matches, so you're not really going to see what she can do, because she's just going to go out there, she's going to throw her kicks or punches, do her split and get the win. And this is also WWE, where they kind of like to dumb you down, do 3 to 5 moves to pop the crowd, and that's how they present people for the most part. Now, luckily in NXT, you get a little bit more leeway with that, so we saw it a little bit with Lash, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from her outside of just the aesthetic. Though I do really enjoy the aesthetic. And again, you said something about her, same thing that Nicole said about Zion, that is going to come into play later when we get to SmackDown. So I appreciate both of those points, and I'm going to hold on to those. NXT overall, spit or swallow? Katie?
Swallow.
Nicole?
Oh, swallow.
Tiffany said swallow. Alexis?
I'll swallow.
I'm going to swallow as well. And Alexis, do you want to do Raw, SmackDown, or Rampage?
Let's just get it over with. Let's just do Raw and just be done with it.
All right.
Disrespect.
So we kick Monday Night Raw off with Miz TV featuring Mr. Homelander himself, Cody Rhodes. Miz says Cody is all Cody is a name. Cody says Miz hasn't changed, but he has, and he's a contender now. Miz doesn't like Cody's chances against him or Seth. Cody says, bitch, you're scared of me. Seth can have a match if he wants it. Miz tries to sneak attack the son of a plumber, or the grandson of
grandson of a plumber.
Grandson. But he clears that clog with ease. So Miz gets tossed right out the ring. Dominic Mysterio gets wrecked by Veer. Veer said, tap all you want. I'm going to keep applying the pressure until you pass out, which is the kind of energy I can get behind. He gets ripped away by middle management, and then Dom gets stretchered out. AJ interview.
Not middle management.
Yeah, it was middle management.
It was.
AJ's interview leads to him jumping Damian Priest in the back. We get AJ versus Priest. Lights go out, and Priest kneels in the middle of the ring, middle of the match in a blue light for some fucking reason. And then they just end it. Like, we don't get a conclusion to the match. Damian just said, fuck it, took a knee, and then the match was over. And AJ was pissed. He's like, what the fuck? He didn't even know.
I don't know what that was.
That was stupid. That was stupid.
Cody defeats the Miz. Seth, full-on supervillain mode, gets his rematch with Cody. He's crazy. He's the Joker. He's some kind of weird DC villain, and I love it. Ezekiel welcomes Ciampa to Raw during his interview, and everyone continues to pretend that Kevin Owens is crazy, and this man is literally the younger brother of Elias. Liv loses to Naomi after beating Sasha in what was supposed to be a tag team title match that we didn't get because, from what I understand, Rhea may or may not have had COVID, but apparently she's okay now because we saw her on SmackDown. We're going to get the match this week on Raw. Bobby Lashley crashes the VIP lounge before he even kicks off because he wants answers. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And MVP's like, listen, I fucking made you. Without me, you were nothing. I made you, and you turned your back on me. So I went and found someone that appreciates me. This is very much you broke up with me, we're on a break, I found someone else, and now you want me back situation. And I am on MVP's side with this. Like, you said you were done, but now that I got a new piece over here, all of the sudden our relationship was special to you. You said you didn't want this anymore. I found someone new. I'm with MVP. Bobby is going to go through almost to get to MVP though, so we will see. 24/7 bachelor party. Truth's like, listen, 24/7 titles out there. You just can't let these women be out there doing their thing with a belt on the line. We got to go crash their bachelorette party. Theory gets his US title shot. KO confronts Sonya and Adam about the way they run the show. And then Closet Racist Sonya says she'll handle Bianca's opponent herself. And we're going to get into that. And mind you, Closet Racist character, not Closet Racist person, as far as we know. Bianca defeats Zelina. Sonya comes out after the win with an open contract that she convinces Bianca to sign because Bianca's like, fuck you. I'm the best on the roster. It doesn't matter who you got. I'll take anybody. Sonya's like, okay, cool. Drops Bianca, signs the contract. Adam Pearce is pissed. He's like, what are you doing? She's like, it was an open contract. I signed it. You're just mad because you didn't think of it. And Adam's like, oh, we're gonna get the bottom of this. We're gonna figure some shit out because you're abusing your power. It's wrestling, of course she is.
I'm just saying, if they do that bullshit thing, like, first off, Adam needs to get control of this bitch because I can't fucking take him seriously as a man. I'll be like, you can't control her. Like, that's supposed to be your partner, and you can't tell her to stop being a bitch. Okay,
right,
whatever.
I don't know why Adam can't do nothing. He'll never do nothing. When has he ever done anything? The last time he had the ball was when Bischoff was there, and Bischoff was telling him, you got to get this under control. That was the last time he took control of anything.
The last time he said, fuck this.
He ain't gonna do shit.
I'm like, if she does the same thing she did a fucking Naomi, where she's like, you can't hit me when I'm wearing my jacket. You can't hit me because I'm your boss. Okay.
I don't think Bianca I don't think that's how that's gonna go down.
I understand. Like, this is just really getting to me because the only feuds we have seen Sonya in is with women of color, and she giving me some mad Karen vibes.
Oh yeah, like I said, Closet Racist Sonya. Because it wasn't just women of color. You got to remember, she was fucking with Montez and the Street Profits too when they were trying to get their title rematch, and she was putting them off. And they kept coming like, "Hey, where's our rematch? Where's our rematch?" So her entire character is not so closeted racist.
She's a comfort.
I just don't think that's cool to have that as a character, because it's just really like, I'm not speaking for Tiff or Nicole or anybody, but like, just for me, it's very uncomfortable to watch, because like, she's gonna pull the same shit she did on Naomi, and I'm not for it. And this is what's pissing me off with Adam. It's like, you're letting this bitch run everything, and you're too pussy of a man to stand up to her. And then people are online like, y'all are hating on her, give her a chance. And it's like, no, because she's going to pull the same shit she did with Bianca that she did with Naomi. And even then, I don't think that's like, and this shit needs to be a one-time match. They don't need to draw it out for 6 months, because I'm going to be honest, Bianca could kick Sonya's ass in real life.
She's going to.
And I mean, Bianca's not going to lose.
I know. It's just like,
I doubt they'd do all that shit just for her to fucking lose to Sonya.
So devil's advocate, we all asked for new matchups, did we not? That is something that people WWE wise have been begging for. We don't want the same thing. We want new matchups. This is a new matchup, because honestly, the next pay-per-view is WrestleMania Backlash. They very well could have doubled back to Becky. They could have just gone back to Becky. Okay. Yeah. More than likely, Becky was like, okay, I'm going to step aside. You guys figure it out from here. Put somebody else up there. Sonya's capable. Outside of her character, wrestling wise, she's one of the best on the roster. A lot of people don't give her the credit she deserves. Wrestling wise, she is it. As a heel character, you hate her fucking guts. She's doing her job. That's just the bottom line. When it comes to her going after Naomi, the only problem I had with that is you didn't give us a definitive answer as to why you're doing it. So that's why it comes off to us like you're going after her because you don't have no reason other than that's Naomi. Like, you're not even giving us a clear definitive reason.
She said it's like because you're walking around here with main character energy and you're not the main character. And
bitch, neither is she. We know that. Like that's not an answer. Right. That's not an answer. I'm sorry, that's not a definitive answer. It's bullshit.
And to piggyback on Tiff's point, while the character may be slightly problematic, the fact that it is problematic, I want to see Bianca beat the living shit out of Sonya Deville. And that is the whole point of Sonya's character, is to make me get behind babyface Bianca and see her whoop that woman's ass. Right. That is where I'm at. But I do agree that it is a problematic character because, again, when you look at it, you have a problem with Naomi, you have a problem with Bianca, you have a problem with the Street Profits. And the only thing that they all have in common outside of Bianca and the Street Profits, you know, Montez and they're all.
She went after Cameron at the Royal Rumble. Cameron, because she was friends with Naomi, and I'm like, okay, you ain't even hiding it at this point now, are you?
So if I were to remove their color, my only thing would be you're jealous because you don't have the same command of the crowd that they do, which Sonya doesn't. As a face character, Sonya doesn't have that. No. As a heel, she draws the heat she's supposed to draw. If not more, she does it appropriately. It's just there's a white woman in an authority figure coming down on this black woman, and we all see it. Okay? So that's why it's coming across like this is racist. Y'all need to fix this. But in the end, Naomi's the one who got the last laugh. She beat her in Saudi. And we got to see Ronda put her ass in that armbar, which that worked for me. She went down, her ass tapped, so I didn't give a shit. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as the end game is they win out in the end, I don't care. I'm fine with Sonya going up against Bianca. Storyline-wise, of course, I was mad the way she went about it because she blindsided the girl. And instead of her just being straight up, walking out there, signing the contract in her face like, I'm your next opponent, and punching her in her face, I could have respected that because that's some boss bitch shit. But when you attack a bitch from behind, it's clear you don't think you measure up enough to go one-on-one head-to-head with her. So you made sure she was caught off guard to do what you did. So that's fine. But in the end, Bianca's gonna win. Yep. She's gonna will out.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Let that come cricket have her shot, and then she can go crawl back into her hole somewhere.
I just want to see how many people are going to complain about her being hit with Bianca's braid like they did when Becky got hit by
Oh,
it.
that's a given. She better get slapped with that braid. I want to see her get whipped. I'm sorry. I need to see that for the ancestors. I need to see it. That is something I have to see. For
And
me.
I also know Katie would like to whip her herself. So
Okay, cool. Me and Katie on the same page. Yeah.
I think Katie wants to do it in another way though, Tiff.
yeah.
What? Ew.
Listen, you know what? No, I'm not at all, actually, if you want to know. I got issues, all right? We're not going to talk about it. Matt, continue.
We all got issues, honey. No worries, okay? No judgment
We
here.
talked about this earlier on the show. I was just bringing it back up. Los Lotharios, Nikki Ash, Party Crash, the Bachelorette Party. Truth puts the 24/7 title on hiatus until the wedding next week, which he is going to be officiating because he got his officiant license online.
I'll watch it for that.
Adam confronts Sonya. We talked about that.
I hope he gets that belt back. I really do.
RK Blows defeats Alpha Academy. Usos arrive right after the match, come out for the Raw Tag Team titles for the unification. Street Profits do not want to be left out. They come out and tell the Usos they can get in the back of the line. They're next. They beat Alpha Academy. It's our title shot, and then we'll fight you, which I would much rather see Usos Street Profits for the unification, but that's because I hate Matt Riddle, and I don't want to see him have any more success. Put him in the 24/7 division. Let him run around on a scooter. It'll be fantastic. Randy makes the match between the Usos and the Street Profits, and the Usos get the win over the Street Profits. And then after the match, Riddle and Randy attack the Street Profits. Randy hits Montez with the cutter. Angelo Dawkins, being a nice guy, came up to give Riddle a hug. Riddle grabs him and pulls him over the top rope with them on some bullshit. I don't know what that was about. Guy's a dick. And that's how we go off air. Do we have any others? I mean, we talked Naomi and or not Naomi, we talked Bianca and Sonya. Do we have any other swallows or spits for Monday Night Raw?
This whole belt unification thing, I'm not getting a good vibe from it. I don't like it. I don't like it because everyone now is thinking, oh, they're gonna end the brand split. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because people are already complaining certain people don't get TV screen time. What do you think is gonna happen when these belts get unified?
There has not been a brand split since Survivor Series.
Okay.
It's already over. It's over.
My thing is, honestly, they don't have enough men's tag team division on both brands to support having two belts anymore.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Well,
they just don't.
The tag team unification I'm fine with. Because there are not enough tag teams down on the main roster, period. Like they would literally have to bring up all the tag teams from NXT and NXT UK just to split them up and fill out the roster enough for them to make that tag team division worthwhile.
I'm okay with them unifying it for the time being until they build up enough people on NXT, NXT UK, regular NXT. In my opinion, Mustache Mountain should have been brought up months and months ago. In my opinion, I feel like there's no reason to have them in regular NXT, and then moving them into and back to NXT UK and go back and forth. They should have been brought up with Pete Dunne, in my opinion. If they're not going to do anything for grizzled young vets, like bring them up as well. So it's just like, I feel like they might as well just unify them for the time being if they're not going to do anything much with them.
The tag belts, I'm okay with them unifying. It was the main belt that I didn't like, because now you're unifying this belt, you're unifying the tag belts. It's only a matter of time before the women's titles get unified and the mid-card titles are unified. So once that happens, opportunities are going to get cut off. That's going to shorten a lot of people's time on TV. Which
I don't think they would unify the IC and the United States. I don't think they'd actually unify them.
One of them's going in that vault.
It's the U.S. title, because if you look at it, the U.S. title came over from WCW. The IC title is a WWE staple. So if they're going to get rid of one, they're going to get rid of the U.S. title. They're going to keep the IC belt. And it's going to be IC, women's, men's, and then the tag belts for both.
But it also goes back to Fox, because Fox has sunk a lot of money into the WWE, and they have made it well known there's only certain people they want on their show. So, you know, as soon as they do like the next draft, we're probably going to be seeing like Bianca if Bianca's not champion, she'll be heading back to SmackDown. People like they'll switch people in and out, but they only want certain people on there. Fox isn't going to have spent all this money and then just have like not going to have fucking Austin Theory show up full time on SmackDown. He does not bring.
If they unify the belts, and they've already basically ended the brand split. Yeah, there is no draft, and they put whoever Fox wants on SmackDown.
I mean, the way I see it is they're going to keep the people as champion that they have champion as now, and they're just going to make sure that certain people are seen on Fox and others are seen on Raw.
That might actually be the issue, is both USA and Fox wanting the same people. And WWE's like, well, the only way to do that is
unify the
everywhere and and our brand split.
Yeah. But that's going to be the issue. Things are going to it's already stale now. You're talking about having Roman pulling double duty on both shows. That man takes 6 minutes to come to the ring. 6.
Yep.
Okay. You want 6 minutes of walking down the ramp, another 10 talking about how he's fucking everybody, because we all know that smash equals fucking. That is the slang lingo. He's been saying it for over 2 fucking years. I'm like, okay, you have fucked everybody. Now what?
At least he's left his wife alone at this point.
Like I love Roman, I do, but Jesus. Like, walk a little faster. God damn. If you fucking like
you step, Roman.
Yeah. He takes fucking forever to no joke.
Dead ass. When he comes out on tomorrow, when you watch it, count. Just look at the clock and see how long it takes him. It's anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes. And we're talking from the time he comes out to the time he gets in the ring, holding up the belt and the pyro hit. It's 3 to 6 minutes. You're sitting there just watching him. And I'm just like.
My friend at WrestleMania, when they came over, my friend came over for WrestleMania. He went out to have a cigarette. I went out to talk to him. He's like, I need to get a quick, I'm not smoking again. Don't give me that look. So like, me and him are talking. He's like, I want to get this in before Roman's match. So me and him are out there. We see him coming and he's like, okay, I'm hurrying up. And by the time we get back in there, he is still not in the ring.
If that's how long it takes for you to fuck, I don't want it. I don't
my God.
I don't want it. It's too long. What are you doing?
As an Undertaker fan, I don't mind a long entrance. So I have that.
There is a difference, because in the Undertaker's entrance, I'm entertained because there's spooky shit going on. Roman is just standing there with his goons and Paul and his little Brock Lesnar's leftovers standing next to him, and then it's like he just fucking stands there. He doesn't do anything except
he takes too long. Hurry up! Can you find the clip? Can you find the pussy? What is happening? What is going on? It should not take you that long. And then you come down here and all you say is, I smashed them all. Bitch, we know. We know
how much you impregnate your wife, Roman. Just stop, okay?
We don't want to hear that no more. We tired of it. Run your ass down there. We done got it. It's over. It's dead. Just come out. Faster, please.
Roman's wife called creative, and she's like, "Look, I don't want to get pregnant this year. Keep him busy."
Hell no.
I don't want to keep him. He only comes home once a day, and then he's gone, and I don't have to worry about getting knocked up with another set of twins.
I'm surprised she got pregnant with how slow he is. I'm surprised.
I'm shocked. My God.
I'm shocked. Because he take it all day.
Monday Night
Oh,
Raw.
yeah.
Katie, spit or swallow.
Since we barely talked about it, sure. I'm just gonna spit
You
Raw.
gonna spit Raw? Nicole?
I'll spit it.
I hate that my camera's backwards and I say Nicole and I point to Katie on my screen and then I say Katie and I point to Nicole. It fucks me up. Tiffany?
I spit it.
Alexis?
I'll spit it. There is one thing I'll swallow though, was the Lacey Evans promo she did.
That was on SmackDown. We're gonna talk
SmackDown.
That
about
was
that.
on
Oh, that
SmackDown.
was,
We'll get
that
there.
was on.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, that was on
last
SmackDown.
week?
That was last week and that was tonight. And
He
that is
did
the
it
thing I
again
wanted to talk
tonight,
about
yeah.
Yeah.
that
Okay.
related to Nicole and Tiffany. So we will talk about that because that is the thing I
Okay.
want to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, let's
spit.
move
It
on
was
to that.
spit.
And I'm gonna spit as well. Yeah, so let's go SmackDown then. We'll bang that out. Or no, we'll do Rampage real quick because that's short.
Yeah.
The Blackpool Combat Club defeats the Ass Family. The Butcher has an enhancement match. Cody Rhodes challenges CM Punk. And Ruby Soho defeats Robin Renegade with a little bit of twin magic. Yes.
Did you say Cody Rhodes?
Cody.
Challenges
That's
CM
Cody.
Punk?
Dustin Rhodes. I'm sorry.
There you
Oh.
go.
Challenges CM Punk.
This is why you have
I
me wrong.
was like,
I
what?
wrote Rhodes. I just
You're
wrote
out here
Rhodes.
assuming Hopelander's back. Get out.
Oh
Ruby
my
Soho
God.
defeats Robin Renegade to qualify for the Owen Invitational. We also get a little bit of twin magic from the Renegade sisters, a la the Bellas. in
Love that for
match.
them.
That was cool.
So I'm going to swallow the main event. I'm happy to see Ruby back on AEW TV finally, getting a win, qualifying for the tournament. I'm surprised we're having qualifying matches for the tournament considering
Crazy.
what we
It's so weird.
the other roster, but hey, it is what it is.
There are 34
Yeah.
women. Yeah, I know. Weird. I've counted. They have
Um,
like 34 women on the roster and like over 100 men.
So it went up since we counted it. Good to know.
Yeah, last time I counted, it was like 34.
Question:
Oh
how
my-
many of those women are actually being used?
You mean
Off
on
the top of my head, I
main
couldn't tell you.
Just anything that's not enhancement matches, like actual, like.
Yeah.
I can't think that much.
But
My
no,
brain does not
though.
work.
We got Marina. She's supposed to be the next big thing.
No, fuck her.
I mean,
Is that what I said?
Tay and Sammy are going to start an OnlyFans apparently. So like, there's
Ew.
Are they dropping
Yeah.
sex tape? That's all,
they're
that's all I
not-
care
they're not
about if they
dropping it.
do.
They're not dropping it.
No.
If that's the only reason I would care.
I'm not even pansexual anymore. I'm just like asexual now. 'Cause, like, that was, no.
Said I'm nothing. Fuck y'all.
No.
Anything else from Rampage outside of the main event? Like the trios match was fine. Wheeler Yuta and the
Yeah. I feel
Blackpool
like they
Combat Club
always
did
do
their thing.
that though. Not Wheeler and Yuta, but I feel like they always throw a trios match on Rampage, and it's just like, okay, like you're just using this to take up time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, those were the only two matches they had. Everything else was just like,
Oh, what about Adam Cole versus Adam Page?
oh yes, I didn't put that in my notes, and that was the last thing I watched. Our main event was Adam Cole versus Adam Page in a Texas death match, and Adam Page retained the title.
I love that.
It was
Yay.
a fun match. I love the dead eye. So the fact that the dead eye with the barbed wire crown through the table was the way it ended. Though
Mhm.
I do not,
Ooh.
for the life of me, understand what the fuck the rules are for a Texas death match,
Nobody does.
because I thought it was
No
like you
one
had to do a
does.
10 count and then there was a pin, but then sometimes it's just a 10 count, and I'm very confused.
They change it every time they do one. There's been like
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
on AEW, and the rules have been different
They
every
always
single
change the
time.
rules every time they do
'Cause
one.
it used to be with death matches, like pretty much they have to stop moving, right? Like if they
Mhm.
like, it was kind of like the ref's decision, but it gets to the point like the dude looks like he's dead. That's what it used to be, and
Fun.
they took something so simple and had to make it so overly complicated. Like Terry Funk's just like, what the fuck is going on? What
It
did y'all
turned
do
into
to this?
the Punjabi prison match. Just overcomplicated the shit out of it for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, like death match is pretty much a fancy word for last man standing. That's what it
Basically.
pretty much comes down to.
Yes.
Literally what it is.
And just like a Chicago street fight, it's just a regular street fight. It just happens in Chicago. So a Texas death match
Exactly.
should be a
Yes.
death match that just happens in Texas.
What was that thing they did with Apollo and Big E, the drum match?
Nigerian rub match.
Nice.
It was just another like Symphony for Destruction match, which I can't watch those matches because I'm a huge nerd, music nerd, and seeing instruments destroyed just hurts me on the inside. But all in all, it's just like a fancier like not even a hardcore. It's just balls count anywhere, anything goes match. That's what it comes out to be. But yeah,
Also, Katie,
Page won.
in my defense, I had the day off because it's a federal holiday. So like, yay, my job, federal holidays off. So I was with my wife watching this stuff. And if I leave anything out from SmackDown or like I did the main event tonight, it's because I was talking and absolutely just forgot to type it in my notes. So thank you for reminding me that we had a fucking world title match at the end of Rampage. Which
You
actually
said you were swallowing the main event, so I assumed you like.
I was literally just talking about Ruby Soho because
Ruby Soho.
which I'm glad it wasn't. Yeah, no, so swallowing Ruby Soho, the trios match was fine.
Yeah.
Basically.
Overall gargle, I'd say, just because like you can have a killer main event, but like you can't have that be the only thing that carries the show.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm going to swallow just for the finish of the main event. Like I said, I love the Deadeye and doing it through a table with a barbed wire crown. That popped me. So also, I believe I invented the Deadeye and Adam Page stole it from me. So there's that. I did that on my trampoline like 10 years before that man was born. Neither here nor there. Katie?
Oh, now I feel old again. Shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna swallow for the main event and Ruby.
Swallow for the main event. Nicole?
I'll swallow also for the main event, just the main event. So I love Adam Cole, baby.
Tiffany, I know you watched the whole thing and enjoyed it all, right?
Yeah, I'm a spit.
Okay.
I just didn't watch it. I'm sorry.
I mean, we pretty much just swallow for Adam Page because
Jesus Christ.
Alexis can do a double swallow then. She can take mine.
Oh my God.
No comment.
I mean, if you guys want to snowball, you guys can snowball. It's all good. SmackDown.
Dude.
To prove that the brand split no longer exists, RK Bro shows up at the beginning of the show to accept the Usos challenge. Randy, bro is not a letter. You cannot say the three most devastating letters and then say RK Bro. Bro is not a letter in any alphabet or dictionary, sir.
You leave Randall alone.
You know what? Randy's a damn legend. He can do whatever he wants.
I just want to know who the fuck Matt is blowing in the back because, like,
Randy Orton, he's his partner. So, you know.
I guarantee you Matt Riddle is just Randy's weed dealer, and that's why he's there. Like that is it.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that works. That's canon. You know?
That's the reason.
The Usos end up taking out Riddle. Then RK Blows meets with Pierce, talk about the title unification. He's like, well, I can't make that decision. The higher powers have to. They make the match, of course.
What are you here for then, man? What are you here for?
Absolutely nothing.
Wide hips. That's about it.
This is why I'm such a bitch to you in 2K22 because you don't know how to do your fucking job.
Oh, he's the last person I would pick to be GM in 2K22.
No, like he there's some bullshit that goes on. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't played 2K22 My Rise, but it's like Sonya cost him his job at one point because of some bullshit she doing, and then he comes back, he's like, I'm so sorry if you do this, I'll reinstate your job. I'll be like, oh, now you believe me, okay, yeah. Like you want me to do you a favor. But then when I go back and ask you to see if I can go up against Rhea, you're like, you're not ready. And I'm like, fuck you. I just got you your job back. You fucking asshole.
He also does make a match for tonight, Riddle versus Jey Uso, because apparently he has that power. Naomi loses to Rhea in a fucking banger. Naomi showed out tonight. We got a Baron Corbin interview. The only thing important about the Baron Corbin interview is the tweet that I made. Go check out the tweet. I paused the show to talk to my wife. There's a picture of the interviewer's face from the TV screen that I paused that perfectly describes having to do anything with Baron Corbin at all in WWE. So please go check that out at my Ritter. We have a Moss interview with our new backstage correspondent, Drew Gulak. He says he's done with puns. Los Lotharios can kiss his ass. The Usos walk out of an interview with Kayla without talking to her. And then we get the match. Moss defeats Humberto Carrillo. Drew interrupts Charlotte to ask Adam Pearce for a performance review from the one interview that he has done so far. Drew Gulak, because now we got 2 Drews, so I got to specify. Charlotte gets annoyed and says, all right, you want a performance review? Come down to the ring and interview me, bitch. Let's go.
I would have seen him wrestle her. That would have been better.
No, what you got was her laying his ass out.
Well, Drew interviews Charlotte. Charlotte says she was saving Ronda's ego. She didn't tap. She was just trying to fix her titties. Drew keeps pushing Charlotte's buttons. So she snaps, calls Drew out, says you're a quitter, calls all the fans quitters, says you couldn't wrestle. Now you're an interviewer. And then she kicks him out of the ring. After saying that she's full of winner's DNA, and I don't think that's Andrade's because I can't remember the last match she lost, so I don't know whose winner's DNA she's full of, but it's somebody's. Tackles Drew Gulak to the ground, puts him in the figure 4, and I would say he was adjusting his jack. He wasn't tapping out; he was just adjusting. If she was adjusting her titties, he was adjusting his jack. Like, it is what it is. Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Sami comes out, does this whole I wasn't running, I'm a strategist, and tonight I'm going to prove it, and I'm going to win. And then forgets that he left his balls in the crowd, so he goes to look for them, gets counted out. Drew runs out there to help him go find his balls. Sami gets scared and runs away.
Facts.
Ricochet says, I'm not perfect, I just look that way in an interview. Then he defeats Jinder to retain his IC title. I agree.
Finally got character.
Sheamus and company has an interview. They're on the same page. New Day's the enemy. And then randomly Butch just like, you keep your dog on a fucking leash. Like, you don't just let this dog run around. Like, he disappears. He's gone.
He reminds me of he reminds me of a hyperactive toddler. Having dealt with a hyperactive toddler, I can say that because mine was batshit crazy. It got to the point that one time I had to grab her by the back of her pants and haul her ass up and drag her out to the car because what did they do to Pete Dunne? I guess he's happy.
That shit is funny.
What the fuck did they do to Pete Dunne though?
I know.
It's funny.
He's a pit bull. I mean, literally, they're having a conversation with him, and then this man is gone, and Ridge is trying to tap on Sheamus, and Sheamus is like, dude, I'm talking. Shut the fuck up. And Ridge is like, no, bro, really. He's like, what the fuck do you want? Butch is gone. Wait, what do you mean Butch is? You had one job, was to watch this man, and he just walked away on your watch. And next time we see Butch, he just says, fuck it, and starts beating the shit out of the New Day. They're chilling, having a good time, signing autographs, and this man just pounces on him like a rabid dog, starts whooping them. Ridge and Sheamus come in. It's a whole thing. Lacey has an interview, and for the second week in a row, I did not hear a word she said because I could not stop staring at what she was wearing, which goes back to what Nicole said about Zion Quinn and how she has no idea what he's about because she can't stop looking at him, and what Tiffany said about the Keita Lions, and Lacey's not even my thing, but I do have a thing for like that kind of lingerie sort of bodysuit thing that she was wearing, and it just takes me out. Yeah, it just takes me out of it. And I literally, also I said that to my wife, and we had a very long discussion about how I shouldn't be saying things like that. So I did actually miss what she was saying. However, I was distracted and I said it twice now, once on camera. And then in our main event, Matt Riddle defeats Jey Uso. Which is why I'm spitting SmackDown.
Just to circle back really quickly.
It wasn't a bad match though.
Every Matt Riddle match is a bad match.
So just to circle back a little bit on Lacey, I have been screaming about this for Lacey for years. For years.
Yep, she did.
I was like, for the fucking life of me. And then people are like, I loved her Southern Belle. I said it was fucking stupid. I hated it. I hated that gimmick. I hated that gimmick because she has such a wonderfully powerful story.
Yep.
She has such a beautiful story of how she literally has like gone through all this and persevered and done so much. I was like, in my life, that girl would never be a heel. She would be John Cena
On
with a
steroids.
vagina, who actually went to the military
Facts.
instead of that bullshit they were doing with him. I was like, she would be on, and I was like, her and Bianca would be everywhere. Everywhere. Literally everywhere. You would literally wake up and you would see Lacey. You would turn around. There's Bianca right there. They would be in your face everywhere.
Yep.
So it sounds like her story is worth hearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find it on YouTube.
It's a beautiful story. If people, I don't even know if she still does this fucking podcast anymore. Love Lillian Garcia. She's fucking boring. But I first heard Lacey's story on Lillian's podcast, and I was just completely blown away by it.
And she does.
So again, if people want to comb through Lillian's podcast, I don't know. I think it exists. I don't know if she does any new episodes, but you'll have to go back a while, and she tells her whole entire story, and it's crazy.
Well, then I can find that and listen to that and not be distracted by the mesh bodysuit. So that's what I will do.
I love her outfit. I'm like, yes, MILF of times 2. Love this for you.
Have you seen the baby? Okay, so I guess they have the Instagram set up for her daughter Summer, and there's a picture of the whole family, and Lacey's smiling, her husband's smiling, Summer's smiling. Yeah. And then they have the baby. They have this baby. And the baby is mean mugging, she's ready to fight somebody already. I'm like, damn, that baby's scary. But I like Lacey, because at first, I liked her I have a thing for vintage pinup and all that, so I was kind of drawn to that. I was like, okay, she's good. But I really didn't start liking her till she became a face, and then I learned her story, and it sounds very relatable to what my mom went through. Because my mom wanted to be a Marine, and she gave that up to raise me and my brother. But my mom's always been the strong person in my life, and as a mom myself, I strive to be that strong person that my daughter looks up to. She can't do heel. She can't, because it's when she was face, she seemed to be better wrestling, but when she turned heel, she got sloppy, and then it's I don't know, and it's just Nicole's been right about this the entire time. Put her ass on SmackDown, make a big deal when it comes to Veterans Day and 4th of July and anything that has to do with mental health, because Lacey is very big on that, because her being in the military, she has seen the fallout of people not getting the mental help they need when they come back with PTSD or anxiety and depression. And she does so much for that. And, anything that would have to do with that, she overall, she's a very strong woman. And again, she kind of reminds me of my mom a little bit. So maybe that's why. I know that sounds weird, but, I'm all ready for Sonya Blade to come back and just start being a badass military chick and kicking people's ass at this point.
Not Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade, man. When the first outfit she wore, I'm like, that's some Mortal Kombat. What is these women in Mortal Kombat lately with these cosplays? What the fuck, guys?
Yeah. I've always liked Lacey. Even when she first debuted in NXT, I liked her then. I didn't have a problem with her Southern Belle gimmick, but I did feel like she was more reliant on the gimmick than she was on the wrestling. It wasn't balanced enough. I'm a military brat. My whole family was in the military. I'm married an airman, so I'm well aware of her time in the military. I understand it, and Nicole has been preaching this since I have known her, which she has been screaming it. I do my lives every week, and we used to go in, and especially during the pandemic, she was like, I don't understand why they have Lacey doing this. She is the perfect poster child for that all-American military girl. She's done everything. She has that background. They could be really pushing her and selling her with the whole USA chants and everything. And goddamn it, I hate when she's right because they always do it. They wait. She says something, and it'll be like 6 months to like a year. It'll pop up on TV, and she'll be like, "I fucking told you," and I'd be like, "This bitch."
They listening to us, man. I'm really convinced they are listening to us.
I don't know.
And I'm like,
talking about bots. That's where fucking
watching.
WWE uses fucking bots for
They're coming
stealing
in
ideas
live,
from
man.
people.
They're coming in the lives. They're listening to the podcast because I mean, she'll say it multiple times, and I'll be like, I don't know, maybe they'll do it. She was like, they need to, and she's been saying this about Lacey since Lacey got there. So I was like, I don't know. They seem to like her Southern Belle stuff, but they done switched roles since she came back and had the baby. They done switched her off to be in the face, which the first time that she was a face, it really worked out for her.
It did.
They were pushing Bailey and Sasha at the time, so she couldn't get the belt from Bailey. But that face character turn for her, she had the crowd on her side the whole time. It worked for her. And I was like, okay, so they're going to keep running with that. They didn't. They switched her back to being that Southern Belle heel character, which it worked, I guess. When she
and they had that weird shit with Flair.
No, we don't mention that. We don't mention that.
So we're swallowing Lacey's promo. I'm also going to swallow Naomi versus Rhea because that was a hell of a match.
Yes.
That was a damn good match. I'm spitting everything Matt Riddle.
Yes.
His existence on. I'm spitting SmackDown because he was there and I had to watch him wrestle and cut a promo. He opened and closed the show. He opened and closed the show. Fuck the show.
I'm not even trying to be funny, but seriously, what is so special about this guy? Because like I wasn't watching it. They got me into watching NXT, and I was watching a takeover. I forgot which one it was, and he came on, and like they were talking about, like they weren't overhyping him or anything, but people were talking about him. People were talking about him online. I had friends hyping him up. I'm like, okay, I'll see what the big deal is. I was not impressed. Because you know what? He is every stoner character from every genre rolled into one. I hate that. Like, I do have a friend that I call Fat Riddle because he looks like Matt Riddle if he ever stopped smoking pot and gained a lot of weight. He calls me a cunt, so that's how our friendship works.
Jesus.
Yeah. I have weird friends, So like, but I don't understand the hype. And then I try to watch his stuff on the indies. Don't understand it. And they're like, oh, he puts bro. I'm like, so is it because he puts bro in front of everything? Like I say bruh at least like today.
I got bro twice by you this week.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So I'm with Matt. I don't understand why people are going so apeshit crazy for Riddle. He's not that good of a wrestler, and honestly, someone's gonna break his damn feet one day, and I'm gonna have to be the bitch and laugh when it happens.
I'll be there with you.
I think Matt Riddle.
The only thing is I like about Riddle, and my favorite thing is like the flip flop things when he gets in the ring. I think that's dumb. But it always entertains me. Like that makes me giggle.
Sandals is his man fucking going
I don't
through?
care.
A lot.
I just
Okay,
it's
like,
just
you
funny.
spending all your paychecks on sandals?
Like,
Fuck
flips
you.
them out. Like that's funny.
Matt Riddle's not my kind of white people.
I don't consider myself an intelligent. I don't consider myself an intelligent wrestling fan, obviously, because I have no idea what Zion Quinn does. I have what is his moveset?
He shows up on your TV.
I know nothing.
Happy while he's on screen.
Nothing. What does his theme song even sound like?
I don't know. I've never listened.
I don't know, and I don't even care.
Is it
I want him on TV every week.
I want to say it's hip hop, but I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter. Literally nothing.
It doesn't fucking matter.
All I know is he played Quidditch or some shit, and now he's here wrestling. Like,
This thing is like Quidditch. He said Quidditch.
Hey, Quidditch.
Actually,
I think he did. Hold on.
Yeah, he played Quidditch or something, and then now he's wrestling. And
I'm pretty sure he played soccer.
You know what? The universe just gave us him, and they're like, hey, sorry you have to sit through all the mediocre shit. here is our present to you.
He looks like a beater. I'm pretty sure he was a beater.
I actually hate you.
Oh, he
Stop.
played rugby.
He
Ah.
said,
Yeah.
Rugby.
That's
He was a
Quidditch without the
beater.
brooms. Rugby's Quidditch without the brooms.
Oh my God.
that's some bullshit right there.
Hate you.
We got any other swallows or spits from SmackDown tonight?
Nah.
I mean, you said Naomi and Rhea specifically for Rhea.
I'll always
Damn.
swallow Naomi. That sounded real bad. Jimmy, don't come fight me.
Naomi killed it tonight. Like she pulled out
did.
some and I don't think Naomi gets the
Naomi's
appreciation she
amazing.
deserves for the
I
wrestler
love
that
Naomi.
she is.
Again,
talk
I
about-
watch what I say about Naomi because I'm pretty sure Jimmy can fight. I'm not
Yeah.
fighting a Samoan.
Jimmy can fight.
You're not only gonna have to fight.
I'm not
Jimmy,
fighting
You're gonna have
a
to
Samoan.
fight Jay. You're gonna have to fight the family, and then you're gonna have to fight the extended family, and then you're gonna
Right.
have to fight the grandparents. Like
I'm
that's
not
how
Oh,
it
we gotta
goes.
fight Rikishi?
I
Shit.
got no cousins. I got enough.
She said I got enough cousins.
I got enough.
Uh,
I'm not
We got
fighting a Samoan. I'm
Jimmy
not
can
doing
No,
fight
it.
fuck
and-
that.
I-
We gonna die.
Who gives a shit?
I'll fuck a Samoan, but I won't fight a Samoan. I ain't. That's
I'll fight Liv for Rhea in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, we are
Well, they
definitely
ain't gonna be
100%
no
sure.
Liv can't fight.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Liv
no
can't
fight.
fight. I'll whoop her ass.
We are fairly certain Liv and Rhea are fucking at this point. Like there's a
If
lot
they're
of chemistry
not,
on screen.
they're
There's
not. I'm
something
selling
weird
my soul to
going
the devil.
I told you I was not the only one.
There's something going on there.
It's-
Now,
it's
you
something-
cosplay as
it's very-
Batman and Catwoman at WrestleMania, you're
If
fucking.
people are like, well, Liv is affectionate. I was like, she is. She was always affectionate with the Riot Squad. Like they're always like
There's a-
hugging each other, but there's a different type
Different.
of fucking vibe.
No,
Thank
look,
you.
Fucking.
there is a
The
difference.
vibe is very
Thank
There is
you.
a difference. Like if me, Janae, Nicole, we're all together, we would be like, affectionate to each other or something like that. That's one thing. Like
Yeah.
we give each other hugs or we play shove each other. That's one thing. This is a little bit more than that.
Guys,
because
you've seen how
they-
There's a lot
Rhea
of going
pins.
on. There's a lot of
She
this,
does it
like
on
this.
purpose. I swear that woman
She
does
does.
that
Everybody
shit
always
on
hands up
purpose.
when she pin them. It's there. I'm like, this is girl.
They
what-
want
what is
to be. They
going
want to be
on?
folded in half by her too, as we all should.
I mean, honestly, if she left Bo Dallas for Rhea Ripley, I'd call that an upgrade.
She
That's
said
1,000%
all of
upgrade.
us. She said all of us need to be pinned. Then we all want to be folded in half.
I kind of
By
do.
Zion, for me, yes, but not by Rhea. I don't. I
You know
don't
what? And you know
think-
what? And that's okay, Tiffany. That's okay.
We
She
all
don't-
just
she
want to
don't
be
need
folded
me.
in half at one point in our lives. By
That's
somebody.
the main thing
When she
here.
pinned, it all started when she pinned.
Was it
What's
in
her name?
Vegas?
Zelina like that, and I
It
was
was
like,
like-
Though if you go
Ass
back,
and
she's
ass.
been pinning. She has been pinning women like that for a very long time. I think Zelina, for whatever
but
reason,
it
just
was
got the
something
attention.
about that time.
Yeah,
'Cause she went like
It was
the
very-
smile. It was the smile because she looked into the camera and she went
Yeah.
like that, and I was like, that's
I
what
was
started
like,
it. Because I was like,
Love that
Yeah.
woman with all of my heart and soul.
like,
Katie.
like
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I mean she sees the tweets because people tag her in it, and she does it now because she's just like, well, here's for the horny fangirls and fanboys. Here you go. You get your
Mhm.
one here.
Right here.
She loves
Anything
it.
for you, Queen. Anything for you.
Wow.
Yes,
SmackDown,
Matt.
spit or swallow.
Swallow.
Nicole.
Swallow. That did not sound right. Swallow.
I will swallow.
Alexis.
I mean, I'll swallow just for Naomi and Rhea.
Okay. So I'm the lone spitter here. I'm fine with that.
We know.
I'm a petty
Real.
bitch, and I'm perfectly okay with it.
Well, hold on. Can I taste it? The gargle?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
gargle. So we actually have
Yeah.
two middle
you can
options.
gargle.
The two middle options are either gargle undecidedly or just take it on the face. However you choose.
I
to go about
don't
it.
like the second one for specific reasons, but I'm not getting into it.
It took me like
Oh,
an hour
God.
and a half to look like this. Ain't nothing going on this face except makeup.
I don't
remover at
blame
this
her.
point.
Shit.
And now that
Makeup
cat is not trying to
everywhere.
destroy my feet,
I knew
Yeah,
your cat was
listen.
down there.
my wife's cat doesn't like anyone but does like me. But for whatever reason, when she is very affectionate, and I'm down here podcasting, it's always leading to her just assaulting
like
the shit out of my
bites.
feet. So I'm like I'm sitting here and I'm listening, but I'm also like trying to keep my feet away from her and move away because she's just all under the desk. And I'm like, listen, I do not have time for this shit right now.
Mine screams. So
Scream.
It does. When
she's
if you listen to some of our shows, if she's not paying her attention, she'll go.
Lori's back there all the time. Unofficial mascot.
Screaming.
There you go.
Her and Lemon, because Lemon just kind of shows up and she's just like, hey,
She
man,
literally-
what's up?
Yeah.
Katie, what was your favorite show this
I
week?
I went home and I bought her, because for some reason I couldn't find any good catnip toys. So I found her like a whole bunch of catnip toys. So she's like very subdued right now. So now that I found my trick.
All right. I have never been a cat person until this is the first cat that my sister had cats. I hated them. I've always been a dog person. This is the first cat that I actually enjoy and like and get along with. I buy her stuff.
Aww.
I've never bought stuff for a cat. My wife brought her into my life and I absolutely love her now, except for when she decides to maul the shit out of my feet while I'm trying to record. Katie, what was your favorite show this week?
I'm gonna go NXT.
You're going NXT, Nicole?
I only watched Dynamite, so I feel like my opinion can't matter.
Your
So I'm
opinion
just-
No, your
always
opinion.
matters.
Your opinion matters on this show.
well, it's because I didn't watch anything, and I don't.
That
wanna
doesn't
say
matter. Based off of Matt's descriptions, everything we talk about.
And on top of that, if
Based
Dynamite
off
was the
of
only
the
thing you wanted to watch
descriptions-
this week,
True.
Honestly, if I watched, it would have been Impact if I watched the whole show. Because
Okay.
Impact is like I'm one of the 30 people that watch Impact.
which is why we
It
don't cover it.
It doesn't come over my cable. I can't
It
watch
doesn't
it. And
come
I
on
can't.
mine either.
I
It
don't
doesn't
like.
come on real cable. I have fake cable, so that's why it comes on mine.
Yeah.
So I will say Impact.
Okay. Tiffany,
NXT.
Alexis.
I'm kind of the same way with Nicole. I really only watch Dynamite, and I really only watch Dynamite for Joe and Suzuki. So I just want to say that's like my match of the week because I don't know. They can yell at me later for it, but like that, like honestly, that was the one thing I was looking forward to this week in wrestling, and that was
It
it.
really was.
Goodness,
It really
excuse me.
was.
Well, to
So
make
sorry.
this all settled, I'm gonna go NXT as well. So by majority vote, the best show of the week, because those of us that watched the week, it picked NXT, and those of us that didn't watch the week and only watched Dynamite, either picked Impact or just the one match off Dynamite. Best show of the week, NXT, as per Down for the Count and the Smackin' and Raw podcast. Whichever one of you would like to, or all three of you, please plug Down for the Count, your socials, where everyone can come find you, listen to your awesome show like I do.
Aw,
They
you
don't
think
do
they're
that.
so
Aw.
awesome.
Appreciate it. I don't know our socials, so Tiff.
Okay,
It's always me.
all right. So
So you can find us on Twitter. Usually one of us is running the Twitter. They don't like when I tell which one of them runs the Twitter. So
You
I
can
feel
guess-
like
you can guess
people. I feel like people can. I feel like, and this is what I appreciate now, because I think Alexis can kind of talk on this. Like I don't want to say like our community, because I don't want to say fan base because I don't like that shit. But I
Yeah.
want to say like the people, like our community has grown enough. They could tell who's talking now.
who's tweeting
Pretty
and
much,
yeah.
like especially if you followed us for a while, you can tell whose voice is who pretty much.
yeah.
well, one of them usually is on the Twitter. I am not a Twitter person. So
Yeah.
you can find us on Twitter at Down for the Count 19. We have an Instagram that they leave to me.
That's our professional.
That is what
You're the IG girl because
I have
IG.
to
pisses
run
me off.
the Instagram. So it's at D4TC_podcast. You can find us there. Our podcast is pretty much everywhere. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Since Anchor is a part of Spotify now, you can find us on both of those platforms as well as Google Podcasts. So we're everywhere.
All right. Katie, She Lead Showcase.
You You can follow me on Twitter at KatieRasslin13, a link tree in my bio to get all things She Lead Showcase, twitch.tv/She Lead Showcase. Typically, me and my co-host Savannah go live Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern-ish, depends. We have a YouTube channel where we have everything on there. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. She Lead is like the main weekly show we do. I have an interview series where I interview people in the wrestling community. I've interviewed Matt, Vince, who never fucking shows up. You're welcome, Vince. All of our other friends. I would love to have each one of you ladies on eventually too. So we'll talk about that. I have like a collab show I do. We made it a game show, which Matt and Vince will actually be on the next one, whenever the fuck we do that. And then my co-host has a New Japan Takeover show. So if you like any of that, you can find all of that on our shit.
Inside the Mind is actually really cool. And if you guys haven't checked it out, you really should. Kay does a great job. She gets to know podcasters outside of just the realm of how they like wrestling, how they got into podcasting, and a little bit about them on a little bit of deeper level. She does a great job. There are some really good episodes with Warren Hayes, TC and Reek from Young Kings Wrestling. Justin from Get Show is hilarious. My co-host Vince was really cool and fun to listen to. I'm on there too, but I'm probably the worst one, so don't bother listening to that.
Stop.
So if you do want to listen to a good one, go listen to the one that she had me interview her, where I got her really, really drunk. Where we did the Inside the Mind of Katie for the 10th episode. We played a drinking game.
Hold on.
17 shots the entire episode.
Wait a second.
Yes.
I want to be a part of a show like that. I'm very.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we'll all talk. Don't worry.
So,
Yeah, hit me. I'll hit you up when the semester's over, because I know I'm definitely going to need to drink.
Baby, take your time. You are good. The
Okay.
show's not going anywhere.
she'll talk to you guys
I don't care.
through Twitter or IG. Set it up, and I'll be listening to all those episodes because I'm really curious, and it should be a damn good time. You guys can find me on Twitter at Matt Ritter. There's MATTRIDDER on Twitter only. Twitter and Instagram, Smackin' Raw Pod. I run the Twitter. Vince runs the Instagram. Facebook.com/group/Smackin' Raw. Creation World is the banner under which the Smackin' Raw podcast exists. You can find us at creationworld.com, Facebook.com/Creation World. The Creation World on Twitter and Instagram, THECREATIA World. And that has Super Flash Hero of Tomorrow and Dungeons After Dark and all that other nerd-ish that you can come check us out and do. Right now, for some reason, like almost 1,000 people have watched me play one game of Dungeons and Dragons on Pornhub, and it is the weirdest fucking thing in the world. But apparently,
I love that.
Fun show, and episode 2 is coming. So
let me know if you ever need an extra player for D&D, because I just started and I really enjoy it. So just let a girl know.
Absolutely. If Travis ever gets episode 2 out, I will tell him I have a backup in case we're down somebody.
Awesome.
So, thank you, Down for the Count, for coming on and doing the show. I had a blast. Nicole, it was awesome meeting you for the first time. Alexis and Tiffany, it was great having you both back on. I love you both.
Thank you.
Had a blast. It is very rare that Katie gets to be in a majority of women with one man. Normally she's surrounded by dudes. So I get to feel a little bit of how she felt today, and I had a blast. So thank you guys again.
You need to come on our show, man, because we
oh, absolutely.
Because we've been going crazy with some of our episodes. So
yeah,
definitely come on. Anytime you want to come on, man, just let us know and we'll hook you up and we'll get the ball rolling on that.
Katie, you too. Because both of you guys, you're more than welcome.
Nice.
So for Down for the Count and Katie Wrestling of the She Elite Showcase, Miss Katie Kinsey Bay. I think I called you Katie Wrestling. We'll add that to the list. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this is Smackin' Raw, the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Love you, Ben.